Hey everybody. Alright, there we go. Been getting loaded in here. Let's see if they can eat better.
Okay, what about that? Somebody? Doobie doobie. Okay, what about that? Somebody? There we go. There we go. All right, so here we are in Dakota River Bend, Red Dead, and we're gonna be playing as Fishing Spirit. Yesterday she had an interesting interaction. She met a person named Jebediah, I think he said Miller, Diane Miller, and his wife, I think it was. And they actually approached her, so she was a little bit skittish of them, because she doesn't trust anybody. And they actually bought berries from her. So that was her first actual interaction, sale interaction with somebody in the game. So she made what was it, $155 for selling 100 berries. Oh, well, she also met the cattle grazers, and that was interesting, because she was just watching cows, come across. They had a whole herd of cows that they were grazing. They approached her, which is something you want to do if you see somebody watching your herd. You definitely want to approach them, find out, because they may be trying to steal your cows or kill them or whatever. Just realized I had my echo on, so I've got that off now. Sorry, I ain't been awake long. Alright, so we're gonna go about collecting more herbs and berries today. You see, I've started getting, but because of collecting these herbs and berries, all the hunting I was doing, I'm able to make minty food and, spice food, so it actually heals a lot better. As you can see, you've got your water down here in the bottom right. There's your water meter, your food. This is how populated an area is, so it actually tell you, when you go into a town or if you're out hunting, if there's how many other people are around you. Of course, this is your speaker. Got your whisper, your normal talk, like you would was around somebody, your yell and your shout. Because I'm going to turn that off while I'm talking in stream because I don't want them to hear in game. Hey, good morning, T-Mad. Howdy do. Good to see you. This is our little shifting spirit girl. She's our herbalist, complete loner. Um, has no connection to any of my other characters directly. Um, like I was saying, she did meet Jebediah yesterday, but of course, no, she's never met any of my other characters, so she doesn't know them. No connection whatsoever. I want her to be a a free spirit, if you will. I mean, she can. It's okay if she interacts with people that other characters may know, but she's not connected to Honorico or Rosalind. And she also has to be completely self-sufficient, which she is now. Because I mean, you can see she's a herbalist, so I can make all the berry juice I want. She's a hunts with a bow and a knife. No guns allowed. Um, basically, and she's a little Native American girl. Very interesting, of course. And I did not know that herbalist kit would do that until last night when I overheard somebody talking about it. Oh, seems to be a blueberry right here. Oh, absolutely, T-Mad. Absolutely. I can definitely send you any of that. Definitely, definitely. I've actually been thinking about a logo for Rosalind. Um, trying to figure out something for her because the white hair and the rabbit is all Ainurauco because she runs white hair investigation. But I can definitely send all that to you. That wouldn't be a problem. You know, we need to get runs with wind. Yeah, that's the one I just picked up. Why is there nothing there? So weird. Oh, thank you, T Mad. Um, I actually I'm a creature of habit, and so I actually had to break habit to make that video. Um, because I'm so used to doing from when I ran my business, I was so used to doing bullet point presentations. So a lot of my mystery videos started out as bullet point type, PowerPoint type stuff. So I actually had to change it up to do that video. But I watched. I'll be honest. I took inspiration from like you, Don Juan, anyone that's any of the videos and stuff. I was like, well, this is what they're doing, and I don't know that skill. So I learned that skill, and that's what I came up with. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, anything you want to do or use or anything, absolutely. What? Um, because like I said, just because I don't think it would be right doesn't mean it wouldn't be right. It's just like I said, I was in that PowerPoint habit and things, but I know the story of Honorico and Rosalind because I've already written it out. It's just some of it I didn't want to explain just yet, but I think people are starting to figure out something about Honorico and Rosalind. So it would you know what, that would actually, you're right, that would be a really good idea. It would make sense. Um, let's see here. Da-da-da. Is that okay to just send it through Discordia to you? I'm actually doing it right now. Give me just a second here. Sometimes I forget where I have stuff stored. I've got two uh 4 terabyte hard drives. So it takes a minute to find stuff. Okay, there. That's where they're at. All right, got that on the big screen here. Bum, bum. And of course, with your with your graphic skills, that you can probably do wonders with stuff. Okay, there you go. That's the first part of them. Oh, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I mean, if you're gonna do the ending too, let me send you that in template. There you go. It's on my stock footage now. A lot of those stuff that's in, I haven't like low many video forums, but the stock footage I think you a lot with. There we go. All right, and hey to everybody that just came into the chat. Sorry, T Mad is a awesome artist. Uh, and he plays the Dakota River Band. That's where I first met him. Plays an amazing character named Mumbles and Peter McGavin. Also plays Jimbo from the circus. Streams pretty much every night on Twitch. Now I'm not a Twitch streamer. I'm a YouTuber. Um, but definitely look up TMAD TV on Twitch. Check out some of his streams. Awesome. Great RPer. Great guy. Um, definitely. If you ever meet Mumbles, Mumbles is this rough, tough, eh, grizzled cannibal type character. But TMAD is the sweetest person. He'll help He'll help just about anybody that he can. So, and there's other great people that I play with. No, 15 Spirit here doesn't play with anybody. She's all by her little lonesome. She just came into the world. Oh, sorry to hear that, T-Man. I am so sorry. Yeah, I could have done it after the stream, but you met Rosalind, and Rosalind is about as forgetful as everything. That's why every time she tells someone a story of what happened, she talks so fast because she's afraid she's going to forget it. Don't disappear, don't disappear, don't disappear. Damn it. Sorry, I mean, dang it. Yeah, yeah, I can understand that easily. Um, I know the TOS rules between YouTube and Twitch and other platforms is so different between them. Uh, the main reason, I actually, believe this or not, did not have a Twitch account until I started playing Dakota River Band. I have a Twitter, and YouTube, and that's it. I mean, I don't Facebook, I don't TikTok, I don't do none of that stuff. I'm old, and that stuff just doesn't make sense to me. Um, so I started watching on Twitch just so that I could interact with the people that I was gaming with and stuff. Oh.
You don't mind, do you, when I pick some berries as well?
Oh no, I don't mind at all. It's all berries is for all.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And see that little interaction right there. I mean, everybody knows that. Like I can pick this herb. Anybody else can come along and pick it just fine. But that's just called being sociable. I mean, if you was in a supermarket and there was 2 cans of beans and somebody else was walking up and they were going to get one and you were only going to get one, you would at least say something, talk to them. Oh, absolutely, T-Man. I mean, that's completely understandable. IRL always comes first. And here is our lovely horse. Her name is Runs with Wind. I I don't know if I could do that or not. Some of my streaming skills are very limited. Like there are times when me and OBS just do not get along. And see, I really wanted this little girl to have her own unique voice because I mean my voice is unique. You hear my voice, you know it's me if you've ever heard me before. There's no mistaking it. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not worried about being monetized. Um, I mean, even if I had the subscriber base or the watched hours, I probably wouldn't take it. Because I mean, I'm not. Uh, that's not why I do it. I actually do it for the mystery videos and just putting out content and having fun. And I don't want to have to worry about what I say or what I do and things like that. So yeah, that might be something I look into. That would be fun too. But yeah, I wanted this little girl to have her own little unique voice. So I have voice mod. Um, I have no idea how to use it or even how to set it up. I was gonna use it yesterday, and well, it snapped, crackled, and popped. It sounded like Rice Krispies. So I was like, I'm just gonna be me. This is the voice that I was left with after everything, so the voice I'm gonna use. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, the funniest part about my voice, and I don't mind telling this, is most people never realize I'm 48 years old. Yeah, I had several surgeries, radiation, and chemo, and this destroyed my voice, so this is what I was left with. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I would appreciate that. I mean, I had voice mod, but for some reason, everything it snap crackles and pops when I use it. So I know there's a setting, something that I'm just like a latency or something. And I was like, because I mean, I have Tobias T. Stanford. Um, I have I have his voice and voice mod fixed so that I could do the beginning of the first webisode that I was doing, and that is hilarious. I took the what was it, the barbarian voice, and I mean pushed it up a little bit because it was way too deep for a politician. So see, you're still that's like 13 years younger than me. But it also proves you're never too young or too old to have fun role playing. As long as you remember, and this is one of the things that always irks me about role playing, um, is it's role play. Everything that's happening in this world right now to this little girl is specific to her. That is not me. Okay, right now I'm an actor playing a part in a very big movie. The moment that movie stops, the acting stops. And there's some people that take it way too serious, and that to each their own, not knocking at all. But I know that the moment I go here and hit that button and hit this right here, anything this little girl has done no longer matters. So I can easily be playing her and have up an entire conversation, get in a fight with somebody, get injured, have to call a doctor, like the person shot me and tried to kill me and I had to call a doctor. I could log her out, log in, Ainurauco or Rosalind, meet that same person, and anything that happened to her, Ainurauco and Rosalind don't have a memory of because it's not them. And that may be like I could run into Jebediah again. And Rosalind and Jebediah know each other. So Jebediah, for whatever, this is all just, make believe. But yeah, exactly, T-Man, it's all make believe. But Jebediah, for whatever reason, could shoot and kill Shifting Spirit. I could instantly log Rosalind in, meet Jebediah like down the road as he's leaving, and it wouldn't matter. So what if he killed Shifting Spirit? That's not Rosalind. But people have trouble sometimes keeping them separate, or they start taking what happened in the game like it's serious. You are watching a movie on the big screen that you just happen to be able to interact with. And I love that. But I also love playing little Shifting Spirit here because I don't have to be as serious about everything. Like, literally, I'm just riding around picking berries and hunting. because she's trying to figure out how to make a living. And her whole backstory is actually, it's not tragic, it's interesting. She was the daughter of a medicine man in her tribe. Um, she was supposed to marry the son of the chief of the tribe, which was is a very high honor. Would have made her a princess, basically. She refused. She flat out stomped her foot, refused, would not do it, um, because her interests lie elsewhere. That's why she's called Shifting Spirit. So she was, of course, banished from the tribe and thrown, banished from the tribe and sent out. And she was driven from the land on top of that, and that's how she wound up in New Dakota. So that's, of course, why she's a herbalist. She knows how to pick herbs and make some items. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, kind of like what happened last night is that last night Rosalind was on the server last night, and Rosalind has caught wind of Ainurauco, which is her twin sister. Rosalind's the criminal character that I play. Um, and her twin sister, is Ainurauco. Ainurauco's the good one, everything. Now, there is a very, very, very complex story that I have woven out in my head for their interactions, and that'll come out of slowly in bits and pieces. But Rosalind caught wind that Ainurauco may be interested in somebody, which is hilarious because Ainurauco has never dated, never anything. She was engaged once, but the guy was murdered mysteriously. Um, and so Rosalind caught wind that Enrico may be interested in somebody. So Rosalind went to go meet this person. Well, her idea of meeting someone is not your typical idea of meeting someone. Rosalind believes in the cat or mouse technique. And she's the cat, and the other person, of course, is the mouse, and she's going to toy with the mouse until she's ready to talk to the mouse. So that happened during the stream. Make sure you go over to T-Mat's channel, check out his latest stream. You'll see the whole thing go down, which is hilarious that the Peter McGavin is the guy's name. If you watch the stream, about the time that a shooter went to go collect a bounty and his horse got killed and he had to carry the body all the way back to town, when he arrives in Valentine, if you watch, there are like, I think 3 or 4 different times, if you look in the background behind Shooter, you can see Rosalind in the shadows. And it was, I did not know this until I went back and watched the stream. But Rosalind toyed with Shooter for, what was it? Probably like an hour, hour and a half or more. She would be in one spot. He would see her. He would go to that spot. She would be gone. But if you look in the background, she was like, he went to one hilltop where he saw her. Whenever Shooter looks around behind him on another hill, you can see that she's now on that other hill watching him. So it was epically hilarious. But of course, Rosalind can't cross the bridge from New Hanover into New Austin. She's not allowed to cross it. But now, that's not say she can be carried by somebody else across the bridge. She just cannot cross it by herself. I think we got picked most of the herbs out in this area for the moment. Now, of course, if you notice, stuff's showing up yellow today where it wasn't yesterday, and that's because of the herbalist kit. The with her being a herbalist, you can activate special sight so that herbs now show up with that yellow circle. I did not know that yesterday. But it's also nighttime. It's very hard to hunt at night because I can't see anything. And I can use eagle eye, of course. Oh, and this little girl did make a trip into Valencrime. Very dangerous for her to do. Plate where I was able to put some money in the bank because of the money I made from selling Jebediah the raspberries to him and his wife. Got him. Took that money, put it in the bank, so she now has $300 saved up. So started with no money, no food, no horse, no weapons, nothing. Just her and the clothes on her back and a little, like a little. Well, I had like a meat pie and I think some water. So now, as you can see, she's pretty self-sufficient. I mean, I got plenty of food. Got 31 bottles of berry juice. And a pair of binoculars. And the horse was absolutely free. Remember, if I'm not mistaken, I know I've got it in one of the streams I think I did on her. We tamed the horse with no lasso and no other horse. It can be done. Now, like I said, it takes a lot of patience to tame a horse with no extra supplies because you've got to crouch, you've got to ease up, sneak up on it. But it can be done. But if anybody would be able to do it, it'd be her. And yes, we did just chase a raccoon down with a knife and kill it. See, here's, especially at night, is a bad time to be coming up on people because they can hear you, but they can't see you. So usually you're gonna greet you with a shotgun or some kind of gun out. This is a nice little camp right here. Got a little light and a little fenced-in area for raising stuff. I don't know whose camp this is, but this is. I like the whole idea. Now, if you notice private no trespassing sign, yeah, you have to take those seriously because that posted and you roll up and they shoot you. Well, shouldn't have been trespassing. Is that supper right there waiting? Oh, I'm pretty sure I lost that one. Yeah, it's gone. No, we got it. It's right there beside us. Second. So we did get that. We did get it after all. Just more food to add to our collection. Very good. Thank you, Runs with Wind. Yes, her horse is named Runs with Wind. And I love the fact that, the breed of horse it is, well, of course, it's not clean right now because I haven't bought a brush for it. But when it's clean, it's got that metallic gold coating on the brown horse. Very pretty. Ah, a group of coyotes. On hand. Got it. No, it ran away. Fortunately, no. No, anything, my hands don't work right, so it's hard to free aim. That is the only challenge I really had playing this version of Red Dead. I relied heavily on the auto assist because got arthritis, got carpal tunnel in both hands. So whenever I move, or whenever I say move, my hands don't always move. And forget trying to hold something steady. That's almost non-existent. I got one of them. I'll take that one. But that is also why, if you've ever watched T-Mad stream when he was running with the family as Mumbles, and you saw Rosalind in the group, and we get into a gunfight, there is no guarantee that I'm not shooting my own people. Because if I go to aim, if I was trying to, let's say I was going to aim this tree right here. Okay, now I'm not moving my hand, but my hand's still moving. So you go to aim, you can see. So that happens a lot. So there are some times where I may or may have not have shot my own people. I will admit to nothing. But it just adds to the character. Oh, wait. No, don't. Dadgummit. As soon as I heard that horse, I knew what was sick. Did it really just stay right there? Knew that wasn't about to happen. I was gonna try it anyway. Huh. Well, don't know who killed this one, but I'll take it. I don't remember shooting. Hey, Cat. Good to see you. I have got to eat, and we are eating high fashion tonight because we have some minty plump birds. Yeah, my power went out yesterday. Because we were having really bad winds come through, and my power was out for a while. So by the time the power came back up, I was like, well, there's no sense in even restarting it. It's time for me to get into Dakota. Yes, yes, yeah, that's the real T-Mad TV from Twitch himself. Ooh, there's one. Oh, I know I hit you in the head. No. Yeah, you better fall down. Yeah, no, the power went out, shut everything down. Um, it was a typical why can't I? That's not what I wanted to do. Why am I resting? No, I want to harvest. There we go. Oh, it was still kicking. Oh, okay. And that is so funny. Me and Comcat met through Fallout 76, which I need to do a few streams of. I've gotten so addicted to I got so addicted to the Dakota River Bend that I have neglected some other games besides Sons of the Forest, which is awesome. Oh, Runs with Wind looks so pretty sitting out there on the hill. Good, there we go. I could probably wind up using that in a memory somewhere. Oh, nice on the rank 400. That, man, I definitely understand the celebration of life because I don't go to funerals. I hate to use that word, but I don't go to them because you're absolutely right. You should celebrate at that time. That was all about the Red Dead back. Yeah. Well, I'm an old school Red Dead player. Played story mode, in online for about 3 years altogether. So I know it's I played. It'd been out a year before I started playing it and got highly addicted to it. And that's actually how I wound up meeting like trippy commentaries and Perno and all of them. Oh, and then that flower. That's one. And if it hadn't been for Red Dead, believe it or not, I would have probably never started doing my mystery videos on White Hair Investigations. And if it hadn't been for Red Dead, I'd never done the videos. If it wasn't for the videos, I would have never met Trippy and Perno and Pony Macaroni and Scarlet Harlot and met all of them. And they're the ones that told me to start doing, that I should do the mystery videos. So Red Dead led to meeting them. Meeting them led to the videos. Me doing the videos led to Perno trying profusely. I mean, profusely. Like every time he saw me, hey, come play Dakota. Come play Dakota. And so I finally, I did mystery videos for like 2 years. That's how persistent Perno was. So for 2 years, he's trying to get me to come over. Finally, 2 months ago, I come over to Dakota River Bend to start playing over here to do my videos from here where I can actually add story elements to them. Very, very much struggling with that. But I mean, I have a vision, I have an idea. has no clue. So, but because of him getting me to come over here, I've met everybody else. And during all of this, I started, Fallout 76 had been out for a while, and I thought, well, I'll play it when it came out free. You remember Comcat? It came out free on that weekend. I downloaded it, started to play it, thought, hey, I'll stream it, and that's how I met Comcat. So anybody says that video games doesn't bring communities together has never played a video game online. Oh, we actually got that one in one hit. Let's see, I'm always late to the party on video games. Other than Sons of the Forest, there's not many games that I play as soon as they come out. I always wait. Because I'm usually wrapped up in something in one game, and I don't like to leave things unfinished. It irks me. It also causes my insomnia to kick up really, really bad. Because I know this week alone, I've only slept 6 hours the entire week. Oh yeah, you're always gonna meet some good people, and you're gonna meet some bad people. And that just happened. I'm also a huge Arc player. I do tutorials on mega builds and how to do stuff that's not supposed to be able to be done, but you can, like I built a pirate ship laying on its side in the water, just for fun and decoration. It serves no purpose whatsoever. I built the Eye of Saruman tower with a free-floating eye that wasn't touching the tower. That took about 8 months. But that's because I'm a builder. I love building. That's why whenever the camp system for here in New Dakota came out, I was ecstatic. We can finally, build a camp and decorate it. It was awesome. Which this little girl is, if she can ever get these $600 or $700 saved up for just the smallest little camp permit, she's gonna have a little camp over here at Emerald Ranch. Well, Arc has so many different aspects. There's like the friends that I have, which is an awesome group of friends over on the PlayStation. Like some of them love taming. That's all they want to do is go out and tame dinos. Right, that's their thing. And always do your thing. Never worry if somebody likes what you're doing in a game or not. It doesn't matter. It's your thing. Do your thing that makes you happy because you're the one spending. Buffalo. Hold on, I have so got to get a memory. Anyone from the other. Come on. Wait, that'll work. Sure, I can use that in her intro video sometime. I'm gonna do this from horseback. I know it takes on average 4 arrows down one of these monsters. And that was her last arrow. So we're gonna have to go into town and buy arrows after this. Hey, Trippy! Oh, I am loving the Dakota River Bend. Yes, we just took down a buffalo with a knife. Look, Indian girl's got some skills here. Where's our horse? So, okay, that will be in her video. If I ever figure out how I want to do her intro video, her killing a bison with a knife. Hey, dead man. Thank you all for coming and visiting. Don't forget to leave a like if you're enjoying it. But yeah, this is our little girl's shifting spirit. Okay, now we're gonna have to interact with this person because this herb's technically in there. See how this goes. Hello.
Howdy.
Me wonder pick herb in camp.
What camp?
You have herb in camp. May I pick?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if you can pick them, but go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Was tobacco. Thank you.
Anytime. Have a nice day.
You too. So yeah, like I said, yeah, they have an outhouse. But yeah, see, I could have just walked right up and picked that and everything, but that's RDO. That's something you do in RDO. You just walk around, pick herbs. You don't worry about it. That herb was in their camp. See it right there in the circumference. So if you walked over, if your neighbor had a rose bush, you wouldn't just walk over to you wouldn't just walk over in their yard and pick a rose off their rose bush without asking them. That's just common courtesy. So you would walk over and say, "Hey, I noticed your rose bush. It's got a lot of roses on it. Can I pick one?" And if they said no, you would turn around and walk away and leave it. Well, same way here. That herb was in their camp. They were there. So I walked over and asked them, "Hey, can I pick one of the herbs that's in your camp?" They didn't even know it was there, probably. So, because they're like, I don't know if there's any here, but you can try. So I walked over, picked the tobacco. Then I let them know what it was in case they wanted to pick it. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. But the way that Dakota River Bend is set up, and I love this fact, is it's close to I wouldn't say real life in 1899, but you have to treat it as if it was 1899. So, and of course, with the character I'm playing comes with a whole slew of extra problems because if you imagine this, of course, we all know this is not real, but at the moment I'm logged in, so technically I'm this person. A little Native American girl in 1899 running around a country that not at. You gotta remember this is 1899, so the world, the country itself, has not been that nice to the Native American culture. So there is actually some people that will shoot Native American characters on sight just because of who they are. That's the character they play, and that's fine. It adds to it. Oh, we've only got 15 minutes. Luckily, the DRB takes like 2 minutes to reboot. Austin BMX has built an awesome server world, as far as a server system to run everything. And I would say it's about close to flawless as you can get. They have put a lot of time and a lot of resources and a lot of money into building this, and the staff is wonderful. I actually something I like is I have gamed with staff and did not even know they were staff, because when they're in game they're playing their character, and they're wonderful. Now we're doing something dangerous. We're going into the town of Valentine, not Valentine anymore. It is been nicknamed Valentine because it is probably one of the most unlawful towns you can come across. Still, little girl took down a buffalo with a knife. Luckily, it didn't turn around. It was running from us. Alright, so we're going to have to go into the general store here and pick us up some more arrows. And she doesn't have the improved bow yet. She's not met anybody that had one or spoke of one, and she's not asked anybody yet. So she doesn't even know they exist. So now, one of the things I do recommend if you ever play over here, notice I have no money. Keep your money in the bank because people can rob you. Oh yeah, absolutely, T-Mad. I mean, oh yeah, yeah. And if you ever watch one of Austin's, because he does stream here on YouTube, from at times. Hey JP, yes, I will get the sharp arrows. But yeah, if you ever catch Austin streams, and he is an awesome guy. I love his personality and I love his mustache. He definitely has an 1899 mustache in real life. Awesome guy. But when he's streaming, a lot of times he will explain stuff about the server and the world, so you learn so much about the DRB just from watching his stream. Alright, so we're gonna go up in the bank here. Now here's the Valentine's Savings Bank. I love it. And just recently they updated the cash system, so it is awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and pull us out some money here. So you get the new Dakota Bank there. It tells you how much money you've got currently. You can make a deposit, make a withdrawal, or you can don't turn around. You can also transfer money, like it says, to someone else's account. So I love that feature. But we're gonna make a withdrawal because we need just enough money to get some arrows. We're gonna pull $100 out. And what's funny is this little girl doesn't understand the concept of money. Manzanita Post. Oh yeah. Ainurauco goes inside Manzanita all the time. And this little girl visited Manzanita. That was the first place she ever went because that's where she was dropped in the county at. Or where she entered the county after she was banished. We're gonna air quote that. I'll pull my tomahawk out. She doesn't have a tomahawk yet. Yeah, she was not sent into the world with one. So, berry juice evidently sells for $4 a bottle here in the store. So, see, she's actually learning right now because she makes berry juice. Oh, so you're the one that created that one. See, and I actually featured that. The first time she ever walked in, I mentioned how much detail and everything. So that was your work. But yeah, see, she now knows. You better not rob me. Okay, we still got $100. See, that is unfortunately something that is an issue at the moment. Is people will see somebody know like here, you would have known I was in the menu because that's the only reason I'm here, and they'll rob you while you're in a menu. But just making sure that hadn't happened. But yeah, this little girl now knows that berry juice sells for $4 a bottle. So that means she learned that, and now she knows that she can sell the berry juice she makes for $3 a bottle. After what you did to that buffalo, yeah, definitely need a tomahawk. Oh, awesome, awesome. I know Scarlet Harlot is supposed to be working on one for Ainurauco, but there's no arrows here. Okay. So see. So now this little girl doesn't know. The last place she bought arrows was in Blackwater. And I love the fact that their mouth moves when you talk. So when you're trying to get content, actually, of course, they can't hear me in game right now because I've got it muted, but looks like they're actually talking. So where else would she be able to get arrows? Oh, Brandywine. That was your handiwork on Brandywine? No, I've seen that. That is very, very good. Yeah, the right across from the telegraph office, that one little building that sits like right across the street. Um, Scarlett is trying to work on getting me that for Ainurauco and doing a PI office Y map on the inside with things. I'm hoping. I mean, right now it's not a big thing. So let's see. They don't have any tomahawks. If they did, she would have probably just bought one. And they are out of arrows. Oh, now that is awesome. I love that spot. I love that spot with the gold pyramid and everything. So this little girl is out of luck because Valentine doesn't have anything. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. Oh no, wait a minute. You're so T-Mad, you're content creator, streamer, majorly good graphics artist, Y-map creator. When do you have time to breathe? And you still have time to content create story arcs and play multiple characters. Excuse me. Right, so obviously she has nothing. So that means based on her experiences in the world, the only place she knows to go is Blackwater, which is where she spent a lot of time starting out.
That's right.
Oh, she found the market. See, I have it. I have things. I wouldn't say easier, just complicated in a different way. Cause no family, or anything like that. So it's just me, and retired. So, I don't have a scheduled job now. I do volunteer a lot at local shelters and things. I help out in the community a lot. But I actually have time for stuff. The equestrian market. Oops. Oh, that was the collect. Resource market. No, I need the gunsmith. Woodworking.
Are you looking for a gun?
Looking for arrows.
Arrows.
Yeah,
Why
arrows.
don't you come with me?
Okay.
I might have some arrows. And I'll sell it to you at a cheaper price than most people.
See, this is one of those times when see, that's the same person that was coming in and out of the general store when I was in there. So this could be a good thing, or I could be about to get robbed.
I meant in general today so far. Maybe because it's
Maybe it's time.
Sunday.
I mean, there's still 120 right now.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I think you can make your own arrows, but this little girl.
Hello, is anybody there?
This little girl, don't.
Yeah, what's
she's
up?
not a gunsmith, so I
It's
don't know
been
if she
some
can make
time
them.
since
Alrighty, I
I've
might
taken the
not
train
have
in here. I was
enough
wondering,
on second
how do I
thought.
look in? How do I look how much cash I got on me?
Okay.
Think about slash
Let me double
show
check.
cash.
Okay.
In your
Recipe.
pocket?
Yeah, in my pocket, like on
You
Just
can
flex
just
your
think
left
of
alt.
slash show cash.
Just
Oh,
just-
okay, I see. I see. The
just
old
flex your
muscle
left
works.
alt, yeah.
Thank you.
I thought he was blind. How can he see cards?
Yeah, the gunsmith I think is the one that makes them.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think the gunsmith is the one that does make them. But now you notice the person that said they might have some, they took off running, right? And this is the Native American girl, so she's lost them, and she's in a town. Oh, there they are.
So I ain't got any arrows, but have you ever seen crypts?
Yes, I meet Crips at Manzanita Post.
Alrighty, so you go to crypts. He has like an infinite supply of arrows there.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good. That's interesting.
Hey, Dirty Dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love
Wow.
that because see, even
I
though
know, right?
even though that person didn't have any arrows,
Corruption.
the
It's corruption.
you know, they didn't have the arrows I needed. So instead, they provided information. They're like, "Hey, do you know about this? Go talk to this person." Of course, server's fixing to come down, so we are going to get first over here. So I don't want my horse to be hurt. Make it, can I make it? Can take you. Okay, I need you. Yeah, go. Run to its wind. Right, and then I'm because this little girl's out in the open here. And now, even though she's wearing all white, I have eluded people just by doing this right here. 'Cause, she almost got killed. There goes the server. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Give it a chance here. There we go. Like I said, I mean, it's only excuse me, only takes a minute or two. Oh, oop. But yeah, see that right there is a perfect example of how the server works. I needed arrows. Was fixing to go searching through the market. Obviously, that person had seen me and might have been watching me. Oh yeah. So they run up and say, "Hey, are you looking for a gun?" Because they probably saw the bow on my back, no long arm. And I was like, "No, looking for arrows." And they're like, "You want arrows? I got you." And they went and checked their bank. And, yeah, exactly. See, they're like, "Hey, I got you." So they ran to their bank, gonna see if they had some in their lockbox. They didn't. They even went and checked the gunsmith for me, and then came back like, "Look, I ain't got arrows. I can't find any. But have you heard of this guy? Okay, go talk to that person. They're gonna have arrows." So they made sure, even though they couldn't supply me with what I needed, they made sure they pointed me to a person who could. And that's one of the things I like about New Dakota is you're gonna have two sides. You're gonna have, and for all I know, that person's character might have been a criminal. You know, they could have been, you know, like a bank robber or, you know, a horse thief or whatever. But they still took time to make sure this little new girl that was wandering around town kind of aimlessly looking for arrows was in the right direction. Well, see, Comcat, that's funny that you say that because let me show you right here. Hold on. Boom, boom. Okay. This is Ainurauco, the same Ainurauco that does all of the YouTube that I use for all my YouTube videos that played RDO online, the private investigator. Her attitude is me. I am myself when I play her. I don't add anything into it. I just react to situations. So if I meet someone in town, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going right over here." You know how Ainurauco is. She's kind of not really a smart aleck, but she's very blunt. Rosalind here is my criminal, and I play her the exact opposite of Ainurauco. So if Ainurauco would help somebody, Rosalind would rob them. So it's just I just basically complete opposite of my own personality. Tobias Stanford here is an actor for my web series. So he basically I don't play him in the game per se. I just log him in, get whatever content I need for the video, and then lock him back out. Right now he has several different outfits because think of an extra. He's a hired hand, so I don't really play him. And then we have little Shifting Spirit here, who I'm currently playing, who is technically she's I'm just honest when I talk with her. I wouldn't per se say acting, but She's a Native American, which I'm a quarter Cherokee. So this is my Cherokee part of who I really am being played as a character. Now, there are some that we will meet during our travels that they have developed an entire voice, storyline. It's wonderful. It's like watching many novels that you can interact with. Yes, Rosalind is also the newest member of the group called The Family, which is they're actually a wonderful group of people. That they're a group of cannibals. Think, the Aberdeen pig farm. That's their home, and they embody the Aberdeen pig farm to its fullest extent. And I love it. And they are about, I wouldn't say unlawful. Oh, thank you, thank you. Rosalind's character has actually developed a lot because when I first came over here, I didn't want to RP either. I'm from old school RP, and when I say old school, I'm talking about D&D pen and paper and Vampire the Masquerade pen and paper. That was where I first interacted with RP. So when I came over here, I was like, even Perno, he's like, you don't have to RP, you don't have to, just be yourself and talk to people. Just make sure you keep everything set in an 1899 mainframe. Like, we don't talk about cell phones because cell phones didn't exist back then. You can talk about telephones though, and I proved it because there's one in the cafe in Blackwater and one in Saint Denis. So telephones did exist. There's only 2 of them though. Now we are going to wait just a minute before we go out because everybody is coming back in. Also, every time the server restarts, which is at 3, 6, and 9 a.m. and p.m., so do all of the ambushes. So do everything reset. So if you want to mess yourself up right after reset, log in, immediately take off out of town, and then wonder why you're getting shot at. But yeah, as you can see, this little girl, I haven't really RP'd with her as far as, like a full scenario. I've had an interaction with Jebediah when he bought the raspberries from me. That was just that was simply like, hey, I was wondering, do you have any raspberries for sale? And she was like, I have 100. So all I'm doing, I'm not really RPing, I'm just leaving words out of sentences. Instead of, I have 100, I have 100. So leaving some of the connecting words out, it slowly started developing her voice. Yes, in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. And there was actually telephones way before Alexander Graham Bell. People just didn't realize it. The 2 cans and a string stretched across the house works wonders. And if you use a rubber band, you get an even better connection. So I'm a firm believer that anybody that loves RDO could come to New Dakota and be just fine. You don't have to go like as far into RP in your character like Mumbles or Mumfred. I love Mumfred. Yes, JP. What it was is my power went out. We had really bad winds and there was some power line damage. So the power went out and it was out for a while. And by the time it came back on, it had been too long for me to try and pick up the stream, so I just left it right where it was at. Luckily, though, if you remember, we had saved the world right before that, so I didn't lose anything but just a little bit of work, and I replaced it real quick. So when I start the next stream, we will be picking up right where we left off on the guard tower. Alright, I think we're safe. See, unless you walk right up on me right now and notice the white, I'm perfectly hidden in a bush right in town. And the way I play her being, she's not antisocial. She, you know, I don't like being in towns, don't like being around large places with people, but I have to sometimes, with her. But the way I play that is she got, you know, banished from her tribe, and so she doesn't know anybody, so she's doing what she thinks is best to stay safe. Okay, so we are going to go head to Crypt. Where is... See, luckily for her, whenever I traveled from Blackwater, going up to Emerald Ranch, I passed by this place right here. So she knows about it. So we are going to... So she knows that Crypt is there. Now, like for me, I'm going a little bit overboard with this character just because it's fun. But she can only do things that she learns in game. Now, like for an average player coming into New Dakota, you'd open up your paper map, you'd find the nearest place you want that you was needing to go, and go straight there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. Because I do that on Ainurauco. Because Ainurauco's a private investigator, so I use that aspect that she's read it in a book, she's read it in the newspaper, she has knowledge of where places are and things. But that's because I do the videos, so it kind of makes sense. Rosalind, on the other hand, anything without giving too much away, which is not going to matter because I can sit here and tell y'all the entire story I have planned for them, and it wouldn't matter because I didn't say it in game. So nobody would be able to know it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and let me tell you something about Comic Cat there. Whenever Comic Cat first, you found me in my stream, I was streaming Fallout 76. Helped me out so much. I mean, he was like a teacher in Fallout 76, they were. And helped me out, you know, made sure I knew the ropes and everything. So for somebody that didn't even think they could play it, I think he did really well. A hunt necessity. Oh look, there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and get 2 bundles of those. See, and she carries a hunting knife. Now she's, for the character that I'm playing, she would not carry a machete, would she? Do y'all think a little Native American girl would carry a machete? I'm gonna get y'all's thoughts on it before I do or don't buy one. And that was an ambush. Everyone should carry a machete. It was either an ambush or a robbery gone wrong. Yeah, but where is she? Where would she put a machete in this outfit? I mean, it might stick out. Oh yeah, absolutely, T-Matt. Enrico and Shooter, who are currently um doing investigations that happened to cross paths, and they may or may not be investigating each other. Yeah, is that a good way to say it? It's just very awkward, and I love the fact that it's sporadic. Um, they are not pursuing each other. They're so wrapped up in what they're doing with the bounty hunting and the investigating. You know, they kind of have that laser focus on what they're doing, but then the whole time they're getting constantly distracted being around each other, and it's causing them to be awkward as everything. Um, you know, you've got Shooter McGavin, bounty hunter, you know, dead serious, dead shot, dead eye type person. You've got Ainurauco, you know, white hair investigator, uh, always got her nose stuck in the books and in a mystery, and every once in a while their eyes will drift towards each other, and then they stumble across their words and everything, like they have no idea what they're doing. Oh yeah, and the I've actually, you know, looked back at both of their stories. Here's here's Ainurauco, who has come to the county to set up her because she had a business in RDO, you know, private, started as a bounty hunter, worked her way up to being starting an investigation. Hey Gibson, yeah, Sunday is going great. She started up her investigations, right? Got white hair built up to, not, you know, she's not famous, but she's known. Uh, and from her investigations and looking into the various mysteries. And she's this straight shooter. And then a few weeks later, this other white haired girl shows up in the county, steps off of the train and steps, I mean, literally off of the train. Her foot hit the dirt, her face hit Mumbles. I mean, that couldn't have been planned any better. I mean, that was just sporadic beauty right there. And Mumbles takes her in like a lost puppy, kind of. Like, oh, you're a lost puppy. You're hungry. You don't have a home. Let me give you a home. Oh, thank you, T Mad. I actually have the video last night. I wanted to try and get it to you of Rosalind's point of view when she was following Shooter along the train tracks, because she stopped at the bridge. She can't cross that bridge. She can be carried across into Blackwater territory, New Austin, but she can't. She herself cannot walk. She cannot go there herself. So when I stopped at the bridge on Rosalind and I'm looking across the bridge, I could see Shooter stop on the other side, and it was just so epic. And then I went back and I watched your stream because I have a firm rule. If I'm logged in on a character, Enrico or Rosalind, I don't have any other people's Twitches going. I mean, I'll be in them, but I have them minimized with the sound turned off. That way I can give an honest response to everything. That and the echo freaking kills me. So when I went back and watched your footage, I started when your horse got shot, because you don't know this, but Rosalind shot your Shooter's horse. That's why you had to walk. I was actually in the bush, because I had already been following Shooter for a little bit. But so while you're walking, I'm actually behind you on my horse up against the mountains, riding, watching Shooter walk all the way back to Valentine. So right when you cross the tracks to go into Valentine, if you listen in your stream, you can hear a horse off to your right, and then you hear it cross the train tracks behind you. That's Rosalind. It was so good. And then when the big lightning cracked, and Shooter's looking around. If you look, Rosalind's in the background watching you, or watching Shooter at me. And then you come out of the sheriff's office, and you look. If you when you come out of the sheriff's office, when Shooter looked towards Valentine Church, Rosalind is right there to the right side of the church in the shadow. You can see her shadow. So I'm thinking to myself the whole time, if Shooter if Shooter had been paying attention, he would have seen her. There's another time when you went up to Citadel Rock and you was looking and you didn't see anything and you started riding off to the left, or Shooter started riding off to the left. You see Rosalind come across the top of the Citadel Rock. So I love how all of that played out. Is that Shooter is this great bounty hunter, great tracker. You know, he's been a lawman before. He's got these excellent skills, and he's being outwitted by a white-haired lady. Okay, let's see here. She's definitely not going to be a minor. Let's go ahead. Do I have enough to get her a wood axe? Because she might need to chop wood sometime. Yes, Rosalind shot your horse. You know, while we're here, though, talking to Crips, we can go ahead and sell off some of this stuff. Well, I'm not 100% sure that Rosalind is the one that shot the horse, because I'm not 100% sure that Rosalind's the one that shot the horse, because she was trying to shoot the bounty and missed, but I only fired one shot. Rosalind only shot one time. So she was trying to kill the bounty to screw you literally out of the bounty. And then after watching the stream, you talked about your horse getting shot. So I can't confirm or deny that Rosalind may or may not have shot the horse. But she did not shoot to kill. Remember, she is not trying to kill anybody. That's why she was shooting. Rosalind was shooting at Shooter. She was trying to make him flinch. And believe it or not, you never flinched a single time that Rosalind, or Shooter never blinked a single time that Rosalind shot at him. He just completely ignored the shot. Oh, I know. But see, a funny thing about Ainurauco and Rosalind is Rosalind knows things that Ainurauco knows, but she doesn't know details. Like, she knows that Ainurauco is kind of sweet on Shooter, and that Shooter may be kind of sweet on her, but she doesn't know anything about Shooter. So, she doesn't know details. I know. So, like, you know, the whole reason she can't go into New Austin, she can't make the decision to go into New Austin, because that's where Ainurauco lives, is in Blackwater in New Austin. And so she can't go there, but Ainurauco can go anywhere she wants to, because Ainurauco will never know anything Rosalind knows. It's a one-way street on that. So Rosalind knows that Ani is kind of sweet on Shooter. So Rosalind's going to go and check him out and find out everything she can about him, what kind of person he is, how he's going to treat Ainurauco, and if she doesn't approve, then she will step in. And the whole time that's happening, Ani doesn't have a clue. All right, so we came out, we're here with $100, spent $95, sold off all of our goods, and we now have $86. So she has gotten to the point where she is now making a profit while still spending money. But now this is all with her pretty much trying to do this all by herself. Because she hasn't made any friends, hasn't made any connections. I mean, she's only had one sale of her herbs. But that's because I'm specifically playing her this way. She's scared in a new land. Doesn't know really who to trust or anything. She's just relying on what little skills she learned as the daughter of a medicine woman. Or medicine man, I mean. Which, if you notice, if you're a new player, just coming into the county, and you're by yourself. Nobody wanted you to come over. You don't know anybody that games. You pick up a skill. Preferably, if you're brand spanking new, trader and herbalist are some of the two best. Because trapper. Trapper or herbalist. Trapper is going to get more skins and more meat from animals. Herbalist is going to get herbs and berries and stuff, which is good for making that berry juice, which is really good. Now, you can pick herbs if you're not a herbalist. You're just not going to get as much. Like, she gets, on average, like 10 per pick, whereas the average person could get 2 or 3. So I think Rosalind got 3 raspberries last night, whereas 15 Spirit here got 10. And of course, if you don't like your job, let's say later on, I decide, okay, she's not going to be a herbalist anymore. You go to the job board, quit your current job. Now, you do have to keep a job for 7 days if you pick it up, so a week. They give you plenty of time to try it out. You may pick up a job when you first time you do it, you hate it. But then you do it a few times, you figure out exactly how to do it and the best way to do it, and all of a sudden it's the greatest job in the world you've ever had. So always give everything a chance. But after 7 days, you say, I don't like it. Go to the job board, you quit your current job. Now there is going to be a fee, but you pay that fee, you pick up your whatever the fee is for the new job, go and do it. Like, Ainurauco's a horse trainer. Because that's how I made all her money. I'd go out, break wild horses, and then turn around and sell them. Then I'd go get another one. If you notice, now look, check this out. When we went to the bank before the storm, they called the reboot of the service called the storm. This and this wasn't here. So now it's been sectioned off. So see, that was an update. I didn't even know it was coming. But now it's like, okay, current info, bank balance. So now they added, this is how much money you've got on you, so you don't have to go out, hit alt, and go back in. It tells you, hey, you've got this much money on you. All right? Then we want to make a deposit. The $86. Look at that. I deposited $86 and my balance is now $353. That's new. And that was just added. I didn't even know about it. They are constantly making updates to this game. Or to this version of the game. And I love the fact, now a lot of times they'll announce big stuff, but sometimes there's just little tweaks and stuff like, hey, we're going to roll this out the next storm. So every 3 hours there may be something changing. I love that. I love that. Alright, so now we're gonna head back out towards Emerald Ranch. Now, of course, with the saddle that I'm running on this, which is the boar mother, because you know it has to match her, no metal work, nothing like that, because she couldn't afford something like that. It's just simple. This is a boar she went out and killed, turned into a saddle. The saddlebags don't show up, and that's absolutely fine. But with saddlebags, you can store stuff on your horse, so it's like a walking warehouse. I love that. But yeah, I did get Rosalind and Ainurauco's backstory posted in the Discord on the family. I kind of had to post their history together because they're so intertwined. There's also an aspect of it that you know they kind of have to be together, but it explains a lot. And of course, Shooter don't know this yet, but that was almost bad. Whew! I thought for sure I was fixing to do a face plant. Let's see. Put up a map here. And this is the area where she stays around. All around this heart flow area right here. So we're gonna head right there. But yeah. Well, and T-Bad, if you think about it, Rosalind followed Peter all the way to Valentine and was keeping an eye on him from Citadel Rock and places. So the entire time that you were carrying that bounty on your shoulder, she could have offered you a ride. But she didn't. She was actually keeping an eye on Shooter to see if he would finish what he started. Okay, now. Okay, I don't know about y'all, but look at this. They are herding the cattle to market. Now, they're probably very suspicious of me right now because I'm riding beside them, because they don't know why I'm here. But look at that. That is stuff that you can do in New Dakota. You can have cattle herds. You can have sheep herds. I just watched... Oh, sorry. Sorry. I just watched. Now, do you see? Because I ran into his horse. So, he, of course, immediately... there, I got that. Hey, Raven Cat. There we go. Okay, so I was following the herd, just trying to, I was getting a recording of it. But I got a little bit too close and they got suspicious. Notice the guy immediately pulled his gun out and, was like, he didn't even have to say anything. And that's why I said, I just watch. That way they know that I was just watching. But I wanted to get that footage. Do supply and prices you want to buy in town fluctuate based on people selling goods in store? I actually don't know that. If the prices fluctuate or not. As far as like the more you sell, the more inventory, the more people sell to them, that changes the price. I think the store, like the general store and the gun shop, I think those prices are hard set. If I'm not mistaken, I may be mistaken. That way, that kind of sets the market so that people are able to then buy and sell. And it's actually a wonder I didn't get shot doing that. Yeah. Following cattle herds. See, now you gotta remember, like the gunsmith store is, I believe is actually run by somebody. All of the, I think all of the economy is player owned and run, except for maybe like the general store or the clothing shop. Cause I know, like the gun store in Blackwater is owned by Perno Mancuso. He owns it, he supplies it, he runs it, he sets his prices. And I think that's the same for any gun store. That they're all owned by the players and run by the players. So if they're out of stock, like the one, the one in Valentine, no, it didn't have any arrows in stock. Oh, just realized. Where's my bow? Right there, but I haven't equipped any arrows. Oops. There we go. Now my bow has arrows. But yeah, the gun stores and stuff like that are run by players. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, the general store, or is it there's one that's run by the server, but everything else is run by players. Yeah. So since that gun store didn't have any arrows, the person that owned that store hadn't resupplied it yet. There we go. Whew, good berry juice. Doesn't sell to Native Americans. Yeah. See, that is a perfect aspect of RP content right there. Because I know eventually I'm gonna run into it. Because I have on Ani and Roslyn, I have met players that have they put this. You gotta remember, this is 1899. It's all role play, okay? So it's not like the stuff we do in the game's not like stuff we do in real life. Oh, absolutely, Comcast. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So you will meet people that have problems with Native Americans, and I know there's a particular person, or it's actually like 2 or 3 people. If they see a Native American, they're robbing them, flat out. They're gonna stop them and rob them because they don't like Indians. Now, as far as rough and tumble or killing, that I haven't experienced yet. I'm pretty sure that may happen too. That's the world of Red Dead. A lot of people don't understand. It's like, well, you gotta be this way. That this is 1899, and in 1899, women hadn't even earned the right to vote yet, because there is women's suffrage that happens in story mode. So women don't even have the right to vote yet. Okay, so that's the aspect and mentality of the 1899 Red Dead. Now, I myself am not going to go overboard with it because that's just not my nature. But I have run into some interesting scenarios, and the good part, and absolutely, Yeah, the curse of Valentine. Absolutely. That's why we call it Valencrine. But let's say in Comcat, that is a perfect example. If you want to be a highwayman, let's say, because highwaymen existed in 1899. Of course, now I would have to look a little bit different this right here, but let's just say I rode up and down the roads, right? Or even actually, let's spot right over here real quick, because there's an excellent little spot right up here. I thought it was right up here. But anyway, there, yeah, we can use that wagon as a perfect example. So you've got this wagon here that's broke down, right? And got your horse. You can rob banks. You can definitely rob banks. Rosalind and the family a few nights ago may or may not have robbed a bank in a particular town. And you go into the bank and there's a vault door that leads into the vault. And you blow that vault door with dynamite. Well, when you do that, it sends off the alarm, because I do have telegraph system in the game, remember? That sends an alert out to all basically the bank alarm goes off. And all the law in the entire that are currently logged in on duty get an alert, hey, such and such bank is being robbed. And they can show up. So let's say you go in with a group of 6 people. So there's 6 criminals robbing the bank. And you can take a hostage, and you can hogtie somebody and keep them as a hostage to negotiate with. So ever how many criminals there are, that's how many lawmen can show up. It has to be even, has to be equal. But now, if you're in the bank, the lawmen can't just come in the bank while you're robbing it. They can't just run in guns blazing. No, there has to be negotiations. You have to RP the scene out. And there may be a chance that through this negotiation, depending on if the criminals are good enough and they've got the hostage, that they can just walk right out the front door of the bank, get on their horses. The lawmen can't do nothing. They're just standing there, no guns drawn or anything. You get on your horse, and let's say y'all have agreed on 4 Mississippis. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's actually funny and works. So from the moment the lawman goes, all right, go, they start counting. So when they say go, you take off like a bat out of Hades. And you've got 4 Mississippi, 4 seconds to get away before they can do anything. So if you're cunning enough and you've planned this out just right, by the time they say 4 Mississippi, you're already in a position that they can't shoot you. And if they jump on their horses, they won't catch you. So you just got away with a bank robbery and whatever was in it. So you and your posse or your gang, all of you that get away, y'all go back to your little hideout and divvy up your, oh, I love that shine on that. And you divvy up your spoils. But let's say one of you gets captured. The lawmen are able to get one of you and they throw you in the jail in the town. Well, the remaining gang may decide, hey, let's go break them out of jail so that they don't have to serve time at Sisika. So the remaining 5 put together an escape plan, a breakout plan. They go rolling up in the jail with whatever law might be present or whoever might be in the jail at the time, because there may be other lawmen that have come to check it out. There may, of course, remember, it's got to be a limit of 6. You can't go over 6 individuals. So if there's 9 lawmen in that jail and 5 of you roll up, 4 of them have to basically vacate the area and do nothing. They cannot interact because now it's an unfair advantage. But let's say there's 5 lawmen in there. Your 5 posse members come to break out the one that was captured, there is now a full-on gunfight, fist fight, hog tie, dynamite throwing, everything. Now you see how that person right there rode up and saw me sitting here? And there's a wagon. So they may be thinking I'm going to do something. So I'm going to ease off here so they know that I'm not a threat. You see, that rider's riding with that wagon as protection. So they rode up on me because they saw me standing there. They were making sure I wasn't going to try and rob them or anything. Now see how they veered off? They're looking back. They're watching me. So see, that's some of the interactions you'll get. I saw a person in white on a horse standing by a wagon. They thought it was going to be just like a highway robbery. So they rode up to let me know, hey, they've got protection. They didn't even have to say anything. They just rode up, made their presence known. I acknowledged it by riding off. Say, hey, I'm not a threat. And then if you watch, when they got right about to the edge of that little hill there, because they knew they wouldn't see me if they stayed on the road, they rode up on the hill and you could see their head turned back. They were looking back. But yeah, you can do all kinds of robbery stuff. You can be a highway person. That was a perfect example right there of me. Technically, I was set up in a position to be a highway robber. I was by a wagon, kind of throwing it off. Now, of course, if I'd been dressed differently. But be standing there and somebody rides up in, let's see. I don't know if I can do it with a bow. No, you cannot do it with a bow. It has to be a gun. But you can actually make your horse lay down. Not sure how to do it without a gun. I've always done it. But you make your horse lay down and you play the damsel in distress if you're a female character. You're like, excuse me, my horse throwed a shoe. Could you take a look at it? And they'll be like, oh, ma'am, that sounds terrible. And they'll hop down off their horse. And then the moment they hop down off their horse, see, I started the interaction by getting them to stop and come up with a scenario. My horse throwed a shoe. Could you look at my horse? And I'm like, oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry about that. Let me take a look. And then they'd walk over to my horse who was laying down. And whenever they walked over, walk up behind them with a pistol, pull it out and stick it to the back of their head, aim it at them. So why don't you get your hands up, mister? Now I've started a robbery. So when they put their hands up like that, as long as you're pointing a gun at them, it gives you a rob option. And you basically take half of whatever money they currently have, and you have 3 seconds to take anything out of their bag you want. And if you're quick at it, you can clean somebody's a lot of their inventory out in 3 seconds. Just click, 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 click. Or if you know, hey, hit Q or E to go back and forth through the menu. See, go Q or E and go through. So it always starts here. So if you hit it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, bam, I'm on the weapons tab. Now I'm taking all the weapons. So you'd go 1 provisions, take something, 1, 2, take something. It'll close out like that. You tell them, now you have a fine day, and you get on your horse and you ride away. They can't, 48 minutes of, if you've gotten robbed, you can't do anything for 48 minutes. That's a 1 day in game. Now, if you rob them and kill them, though, that's illegal. That'll get you banned. You can either rob or kill. You cannot rob and kill. Like I said, Rosalind has met a character that is a highway woman. That's all she does. She literally lives the life of robbery. But she then takes everything that she robs from somebody and goes and gives it away. She doesn't keep it. She's a highway woman Robin Hood. Oh, I need to activate that herb kit. See, we're going to activate our herbalist menu here to activate our special site as a herbalist. There's certain things we can craft. now all the plants will have that nut. Look, right there. See? Gives us that nice yellow glow, makes it a lot easier, and means, if you remember in RDO and story mode and online, plants would show up spark or blinky in your eagle eye. This is a lot easier. Oh yes, yeah. Ainurauco has been robbed once, and I didn't mind it. I know to keep all my money in the bank, or keep it in your cash box at your camp. You can actually have storage, cash boxes, and wardrobes at your camp. Which is what this little girl will do, because right now I'm having to use the bank, but I don't really want her using the bank because she doesn't trust people. But I purposely rode around one day with a lot of money on me. Because I wanted to I had never been robbed, I had never seen the RP, I'd never seen the interaction. So I was actually trying to get robbed. So I literally rode around for about 45 minutes, just around outside Blackwater. Nobody would rob me. I mean, everybody's very nice, very polite. Even robbers, even some of the worst criminals, especially like the members of the family, they are hardened, cannibalistic outlaws that are nice. They will reverse rob you if you're not careful, and that's how Mumbles robbed me the first time. He reverse robbed me. He told me to put my hands up, put a gun on me, told me to put my hands up, and then gave me stuff. It was hilarious. I loved the interaction. So I actually had to go to Blackwater. This is how bad it was. I went to Blackwater and I had a few $100 on me, and I was talking about, like, man, talking about the criminal element, how nice the criminal element was. They won't even rob you. Not even when you walk around with X amount of money on you like I do. Nobody would ever rob me. Well, that started an RP session. I didn't know about that. There was 3 fellas that was thinking about robbing the bank, and they heard me talking to. I was talking to a friend, somebody new in game, about how safe it was in New Dakota, and the county was a great place. There's no robberies. I could walk around with this money in my pocket and nobody would bother me. So instead of robbing the bank, of course, I baited them. I'll be honest, I baited them talking about it out loud. But instead of robbing the bank there in Blackwater, they robbed me. And it was a fun little interaction. But I got to finally see how it worked, so it was worth it. Well, see, JP, if you was going to be a robber, and you could if you come across if you could find out the travel plans or something of one of the people, the merchants, so the ones that make deliveries and stuff like that, and the way of thinking, a delivery driver is going to be making deliveries and picking up deposits, and they're going to make their whole round trip before heading to the bank. So it's kind of like robbing a convenience store on Super Bowl night. If you wait till they're going to make their deposit, then you get all of it. Well, you can't do that. You can't rob somebody as they're walking into a bank, and you can't rob anyone while they're in the bank. Those are safe zones. That would be bad. Now, if you could catch them as they were riding into town with the money, like if they were headed towards the bank and they hadn't got into town yet, so you caught them like on the outskirts of town, and that would be good, because you've also got to remember, though, if you was to let's say you did rob somebody on the front steps of the bank, so you're in town with all of those witnesses, that can give a description of what you look like to the law. Or, knowing my luck, the law is in the bank making their deposit where they got paid for the day and walk out, and now you're face to face with a gun in a person's face robbing them with the law standing right beside you. So you'd still have to be smart about it. And you definitely don't want to be careful about doing a robbery around other players, because vigilanteism is looked very, very much frowned upon because you're not law. And you got to be careful that you walk up to person A to rob them, but you don't know that person A has 3 friends that are lagging behind, and as you pull your gun out, their friends come around the corner. Now they're defending. They're not being vigilantes. They're defending their friend. And now your robbery just went wrong real quick. Perfect example is Rosalind. Rosalind has a sick, twisted sense of humor. Things she finds funny most people would never even think about, and she's constantly telling jokes, which is also oddly a trait that Ainurauco shares. But Rosalind thought it would be funny the other day. There was a guy getting water at a river, and he had a double-barrel shotgun, no ammo in it. It wasn't loaded. It was sitting there going click click. But there was a guy getting water, so she walks up to the guy and says, "Hey, mister, can I ask you a question?" And he says, "Well, I'm not really in the mood for questions, but yeah, go ahead." She pulls out a double-barrel shotgun and goes, "Is this loaded?" And he goes, "I don't know, is this one?" And pulls his out and shot her. He had every right to shoot her. So that was not failed RP. That was not against the rules. Rosalind pulled a gun out. Didn't matter whether it was loaded or not. And said, "Is this loaded?" Well, of course, the way she approached him, she's dressed in black. She's got a skull mask on. She's a criminal. So the guy immediately, what would you do in real life if somebody asked you if a gun was loaded? If you had one, you would pull it out and ask them if yours was loaded. That's exactly the way it should have went down. So he shot her, disgraced her, didn't kill her. And, of course, her friends saw this happen and took the guy down. So while we're both laying there waiting to catch our breath, because we just got grazed, neither one of us was seriously injured, Rosalind explained what she was doing, and in her head it was funny. In real life, that's not funny. That is not not funny at all. But in her head, it was. So she explained what she was doing to the gentleman as they're recovering. And at first he was mad. He was upset. And then when he realized as Rosalind explained it, they had a laugh about it, and they're now friends. So sometimes you got to be careful with stuff. See, I'm over here picking herbs, and that person rode by and now rode back and is now watching. Oh, we've got some more stuff here, and we've also got arrows, so we're good. Oh, there's one over there. Sorry, run to wind. Oh, there's another one over there. Yeah, see, that's one of the beauties of New Dakota that I've actually fallen in love with. Do the raspberry only light up? Oh, everything, every plant lights up for a herbalist. So it doesn't matter what it is, it's gonna have that yellow glow around it. For a herbalist, anyway. Dude, like, what's this one over here? That's another raspberry bush. Which raspberries and oregano and mint. Is what you're gonna find mostly around Emerald. And those are gonna be the ones. Raspberries and oregano and mint are some of the good ones, especially starting out. Whoops. No, don't need to go near that. I'll wind it. Those are the ones starting. No, I've actually picked mint, oregano, and everything. See, like that right there? See, that's gonna be oregano. What? See? 4 oregano were picked. But now around Emerald, this is gonna be the three big ones. Mint, oregano, and raspberry. But the raspberries is for making the berry juice, and oregano and mint is for cooking the meat to make it more potent, and fish. Oh, and we hit level 14. Now, of course, eventually she'll gain knowledge, either by hearing it or somebody telling her, hey, go check out this area, or just if I go on a walkabout with her, then she'll come across other stuff and learn that, hey, this is here, especially whenever I start making, like, having to start make potent tonics and special tonics and stuff. She'll need that knowledge. But then again, like I said, this is just the way that I'm playing her. There's no specific way to play your character. If you want to log in and all the knowledge that you've gained from playing story mode and Red Dead Online, you know, as far as the locations and stuff, you can bring that knowledge with you. There's no rule that says you can't. And it's easy to explain. You read a book about the county and learned all the knowledge. I mean, that's how simple that is to explain. When I was on the train traveling here, I read a book. Thanks, Comic Cat. I read the newspaper. Saw an article in the newspaper or a story that had been written up and learned all about the county. Okay, great. That's explained it, you know. Or before coming to this county, I was in a different county. We call the world counties. So before coming to New Dakota, I was in another county. Gained a little bit of knowledge, and I brought that with me. Blah blah blah. I mean, you don't have to have intricate stories. Just something. I read a pamphlet on in a bathroom at St. Denis. Oh, and if you notice, the weather system here is beautiful. And another beautiful thing about here is you don't have to talk. If you're the type that, like right now my microphone's turned off in game, so they can't hear anything I'm saying in the game. But you can use you can actually text it out if you want to, which I love. You can actually, you know. And I misspelled it on purpose, but see, if I do that, they can see what I'm typing. So that's basically referred to as using sign language. So you either have a voice or you text it, which they just call it sign language. So there's a lot of people that do that because they don't want to talk. They might not have a microphone. They might be playing a character that they don't want their voice to be connected with. Because, like me, I have a very distinctive voice, so all my characters sound the same. There's no way to disguise this, okay? So, if I didn't want people to know that I was playing this character, I would use sign language. Basically because she's Cherokee and she never learned to speak English. But she learned sign language from a friend. She doesn't want to know the white man's devil words. But yeah, and if you hold down your tab, by the way, they call it, because this is all on PC, so she's level 14, 15 spirit. But why do I have my bow out in the rain? But we are, what, $356 is what she's got? So just got to get like $450 more. And we can actually get her camp permit, and she can set up a permanent resident place to stay. And there's actually several ways to become no, this is in the world specific, famous, as Billy the Kid would say from Young Guns, how to make you famous. Right now, like the bounty board, you can do local bounties, which is going after NPC, just like in RDO. You pick up a bounty, you go get them, take out their gang. Kind of hard. No, not even gonna lie. Oh yes, absolutely. It's let's see. I think there's one right back over here. I know there's one up on the hill. But yes, you can lay camps down. What you have to do is you have to buy a camp permit. And those have various sizes. They can be a small camp, medium, or a large camp. And then you can there's one that's $10,000 that is a huge camp for you and up to 9 other people. So you would, like, if I was going to lay down that big camp, a members camp, it cost me $10,000 to lay claim to a spot of land. And then up to 9 other people could go and buy a $500 members camp permit, and I'd add their name to my camp, and then they could put their camp down within the radius of my camp. You can also have smaller camps that each one has a different size radius. Right up here is a perfect example of one. Now, let me announce myself. You don't just ride up and... Hello? Hello? Anyone home? Anyone home? No one home. All right, so as you can see, they've set their camp up here. Yes, you can have teepees. If you don't want a tent like the older tents, you can buy these kind, like the netted, the tarp one. There's also the bounty hunter, and they do come in furnished and unfurnished versions. But they laid claim to this area. if I had my guess about it, I would probably guess that they're the center of it would probably be where that is, because if I was gonna do it, that's what I would do. And of course, if this was my camp, there'd be a white circle on the ground where I could interact with the camp. No, you can't rob their camp. But they got it set up, and everything you see here is something that somebody's put down. So let's say I had been a member and I was going to put down this TP. Well, I would put my little circle probably right outside it. I'd have probably stood right about here and put my thing down, and then put my TP beside it. And there's probably stuff inside, but I'm not walking in somebody's house. That's just rude. And then they put down a fire. And then you've got somebody probably put down the choke wagon, target here. I love these logs. I've been trying to find me one of these logs. I have no idea where to get them or who to buy them from, because I want to put one at Rosalind's place at the outpost. Then you got the TPs, the tarp. So each one of those TPs or tents is somebody's personal camp within the bigger camp. So when you place it down, you can place when you place down your permit, you can put 5 items down. Well, most people automatically know it's going to be a TP or one of the versions of tent. And then you can put 4 more items. So they put a bed, a tent, a bed. Looks like a little storage cabinet back there, that partition, and this campfire. Alright. Let's see. This one's got the tent, bed, a rug. Looks like a storage. So that's probably the owner's tent right there, because they've got more than 5 items. Right? And then you can put fencing like this, and a lot of times if someone's raising chickens or rabbits, which you can raise all kinds of farm animals. And they probably put them in there to graze so that they don't get away. Let's see, this person's got a tent, a flagpole, a forge, there's a torch. This right here is a tanning rack, where you take, whenever you kill an animal and get their hides, you take them there and turn them into cured hides. They sell for a lot more. You can make money if you're just a hunter, right? And you collect up a whole bunch of hides, and then you turn them into cured hides, and you get a whole stack of cured hides. You can make $2,000 or $3,000. I think it's $2,000 per stack from just selling them to crit. So you can make good money. It's a hunting worth though. You got your gunsmith's bench, you got your workbench. So see, you can do this anywhere. Now that their camp is here though, there is a certain radius of how big this camp is and how close another camp can be to it. So it's not like somebody could pop another camp right down there at that tree, but it's too close to this camp. But I do like that thing, and since New Dakota is, it's not like RDO where if you log out, log back in, it's going to put you to another server. You're always going to log into the same server. There's only one, and it can hold up to 200 players at any given time. So, like with RDO, the limit was 30. What was it? 32. So only 32 people could be in the server at a time. This one's 200. Now, how in the world did you get up and run? I'm gonna lose them in the shadow here because I can't see them. Dang it, freaking hand. Oh, that was a leg spike. Yeah, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a banjo with these hands. got you. Okay, I'll take that one. Okay. I don't know why my horse took off that way, but okay. Hey, I picked up one of the arrows I shot in the ground. I honestly am not sure how to check that. Hold on. Actually, yes, I do. Go over here real quick. Hey, Ozzy. Yeah, right, JP. I agree with you. Yeah, it's the dull arrows. I like that. Let's see. It's 100 and something at the moment. I actually have a thing that tells me. Yeah, there's over 100 logged in at the moment. Okay, but ran all the way over here past chasing that deer. Got you that time. Yeah, I did. We're gonna have to make this quick because the train, there is an actual train system. Well, where I'm at here, Emerald, is not a very active place. Most people are just passing through. That's one reason why she came here is because there was less people. And also you gotta look at the time of day. Yeah, I'm glad I got that fox though. But I saw that berry as I chased this. More raspberries. Because with the interaction that he had yesterday with Jebediah, he knows that people are looking for raspberries. So every raspberry bush she finds, she's going to pick because in her mind, if she gets enough of them, she can sell them and make money to get her camp. Or to buy the materials to make what she needs. Yeah, now if I really wanted her to have to be interacting more with people, like this area is not that active at particular times. Now there are some times when this is super active, and there's just people flooding in, especially during like if people are gonna be herding cows or sheep. A lot of them will take them, like if they're down in Blackwater, they'll bring them to here for slaughter. So you'll have a ton of people coming in. Or, especially, caravans come through here. Excuse me. But because there's no bank, in Emerald, for people to be depositing money, they're going to be heading to the major cities. So Emerald is literally like what it was meant to be for. It's a pass-through. But now, eventually, like I said, I want to get her. She's working towards a camp permit so that she has a place to, a more permanent place to lay her head. But I'm not really worried about that per se because she's a Native American, so therefore she doesn't feel she would own the land. She would just be temporarily using it. I think I picked those already, didn't I? But for her, believe it or not, whoop, slow down, Bryn. I mean, I would really love to find a small cave for her to call her own. But I also want her to be out in the wilderness, kind of away from everybody. But definitely very pretty scenery. Okay, that is pretty. Somebody's camp. They actually picked a very good location. Now this is the camp that we was at earlier when we asked if we could pick the herb, which turned out to be tobacco. And I love the little touch of the clothesline. This is the one where you're talking about it had the outhouse. So they got the truck wagon, got an outhouse, they've got the clothesline with the wash tub. I mean, it actually looks like a rustic little camp. Hello, anyone here? Hello? Nobody here. There are horses here, though. Let's see. Are people in the game labeled on the map so you can travel to them and talk? Now, are you talking about NPCs or actual players? Because players are not on the map. You'll never see a player icon. NPCs though are labeled. Let me pick this herb real quick. Because they've already given me permission to be in their camp. No, it's Indian tobacco. That's right up my alley, isn't it? Yeah, no, players are not labeled on the map. Even if you shoot at them, or, you know, like in RDO, if the player becomes hostile, they show up, that doesn't happen here. Because that wouldn't happen in real life. If you pulled out, unless you're, if you pull out a paper map, now if you pull out your phone and GPS them, then it's going to show a dot where they're at. But on a paper map, such as this, well, there would be no player. This is all stuff, the icons are locations of physical things that are not moving. Now, like if you pick up a bounty or something like that, it'll mark it, you know, in the yellow just like it does in RDO of where they might be and then the area. But yeah, players are never going to show up. Of course, you definitely can always notice this icon. This is your sheriff's office in every single town. Really easy to find. We are right here from the Heartland. This is where she stays, this whole little area. So I need to find her a camping place. Who's that? Oh, well, as far as like forming a gang, no, an RDO, in online and story mode, you would start a posse, give it a name, then invite people into it. Well, here, it's just like it is in real life. If you join a gang, in real life, maybe you'll have a specific color of sash you wear, or a particular jacket that everybody wears. And then you are part of the gang. And of course, you may have a like a perfect example. Town of Van Horn is run by the Black Collar Gang. They own some of the property, I think. But they're the Black Collar Gang. They all wear red sashes, and it's basically like if little shifting spirit here joined the gang. She could say she was part of the Black Collar Gang. That's it. And she would wear a red sash. Gotta remember, this is RP world, so a lot of it, I wouldn't say it's just like real life, but it mimics it. And now, if she wasn't part of the Black Collar and was wearing a red sash, but everybody on the server knows that Black Collars wear that red sash, and they roll up on her and say, "Hey, are you part of that Black Collar Gang?" And she said no. They'd be like, "Then why are you wearing the red sash?" You wouldn't walk around with a specific color of a bandana or something like that and wear it in a specific way if you wasn't part of a specific group. Oh, well, the Black Collar Gang is a very large gang. So if you decided you wanted to roll in, you and JP started a gang, and y'all rolled into Van Horn going, "We're going to take this town over," you're looking at about 30 to 40 strong coming out of various buildings in the if they're all logged in at the same time against you two. And they're probably going to gun you down and take your bodies and throw you in a ravine somewhere. Now, that doesn't mean you're permanently dead. Of course, the only way a character dies in New Dakota is if you yourself say, "Hey, I'm going to permadeath this character." But then a doctor will show up, a player doctor will show up, evaluate the body, and pronounce you dead, and you immediately have to log out and delete that character. So, yeah, if you're going to RP, at that point, you would be RPing. If you're saying, "Hey, we're taking over this town," you are now RPing a hostile takeover of the town from the Black Collar Gang. They are going to RP it back in defense of every member that's online is probably going to show up and kill you. It's like the family that Rosalind runs with is one of the oldest and top tier gang family at the moment. And if you talk to people, they know who Mumbles is. Mumbles is Centered, some of the others. They know who they are by name alone. And getting on the bad side of any of the gangs, it's best to try to ally with them, or at least come to some compromise of operation, than to get on their bad side. because now every time one of them, if you're on the bad side of one of the gangs, every time a member of that gang sees you, they're gonna shoot and kill you. $50 friends, absolutely, absolutely. But now, also keep in mind that during a gunfight or a scenario such as that, the limit is 6 people. There may be, you may have 100 guys there, and they may have 30 there, but only 6 of you from each side can actually partake in the gunfighting. The negotiations and talking can be all of you at once. But once guns are drawn, and there's going to be some type of physical altercation, the maximum is 6 per side, and it always has to be even. So if there's only, let's say, technically, like you and JP are the only 2 on in your gang. Well, only 2 of them from their side can participate in the physical interaction, so it'd be 2 versus 2. Well, now you gotta remember, Comcat. As far as shooting someone, there has to be a RP interaction to initiate the physical interaction. That's one of the things that was the hardest for me to understand. If you was to roll up on Shifting Spirit here, you couldn't just pull out a gun and blow her away. You couldn't just walk up, take your gun out, and shoot her. But you could walk up and say hello, or what's your name? It'd be like, Shifting Spirit, oh, I know you, I don't like you. Pull out your gun, you get your hands up. And I'm like, I'm not putting my hands up. Like, put your hands up or I'm going to shoot you. I'm not putting my hands up. At that point, you pull the trigger. You gave me an option. So that's one of the things. Now, if you just rode up, pulled your gun out, and stuck it in my face, like, you've got 2 seconds to get your hands up, or I'm shooting you. I'm not putting my, and by that, I'm not putting. It's 2 seconds. You pull the trigger. You gave me an option. But if you just walk up and pull your gun out and blow my brains out, well, then you didn't give me a chance to rebuttal. It's kind of how it works. So, like, in real life, I know for a fact if in 1899, people would just walk up and shoot people for no reason, no words spoken or anything. Well, believe it or not, in the law books of 1899, depending on the town, if you walked up and told somebody, put your hands up or I will shoot you, and they didn't put their hands up and you shot them, it was legal. Because you gave them an option. You have to give them an option. If we were playing poker and you caught me cheating, well, yeah, now what they call an aggressive outlaw is exactly what I was explaining. An aggressive outlaw is someone who does not give the other person an option. Like if I'm sitting right here, and there's someone right up there on that hill with a carcano, and they shoot me, that's illegal. That'll get you banned. So you can't play a non-RP outlaw. Now, if I had met you before and you told me, hey, if I ever see you on my property again, I'm going to kill you, and you're standing up there on that hill, and this is your property, and you shoot me, that's kind of legal. As long as you can prove that you had told me that before. So if they had a clip of them telling me, hey, I don't want engines on my land and you're on my land, if I ever see you on my land again, I'm going to kill you on sight. And I bolted everything right up on your property, sitting right out here in white, looking like a target. And you have recorded that interaction where you told me that. You have it clipped. And you shoot me. And I go, well, I got shot. No RP, failed RP, blah, blah, blah. and they send that clip, and I make a complaint, and they send that clip in showing where they had told me that, and here I stand on their property, they're gonna be like, they told you. See, under the pretense of robbery, you could fight anyone, maybe. I heard if you want to, so if you have to ask for so you have to, not really ask permission for robbery, but you have to give a person to at least interact in the robbery. Because, like, oh, I am about to starve to death. Let me eat some food. Yum, 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 yum. Alright, so, I wish I had somebody that I could interact with. I'm sitting here, I see you coming across the plains. You're right up beside me, go, hey, how you doing today? Because if you're gonna rob somebody, you always want to catch them off guard anyway, even if you're doing that. Oh, absolutely. Let me get a drink here, my throat's dry. even in real... There we go. Had a frog that would not get out. Even in real life, you're gonna have some kind of an introduction. Hey, Ed. Bank robber walks into a gas station. Walks up to the counter. The guy behind the counter is like, hey, how can I help you? Okay, the guy behind the counter just initiated RP, as far as the game would be concerned. Because they asked, how can I help you? Bank robber pulls out a gun, sticks it in the face, goes, give me all your money. Okay? The robber didn't start the interaction, the person behind the counter did. Most people don't realize that. If you ask, how can I help you, you have just initiated a conversation, you have just initiated an RP scenario. The robber answers the question, sticks a gun in the face, says, give me all their money. Alright? So, this is where the value your life aspect comes in. Because that person behind the counter is not gonna go, oh, give me a second, let me get my gun out. No, they've got a gun in their face. So the robber has to drop on them. So they can't reach for a weapon. Okay? So the cashier, the person behind the counter, opens the register, opens their pocket. That way the robber can get half of the money. It always has to be half, and you cannot double rob people. Two people cannot roll up on the same person and rob them. That's wrong, rude, and illegal. One person, one robbery. Alright? So the bank robber robs them, takes half of their money, has 3 seconds to go through their inventory, and then that ends that RP scenario. You can't kill that person because you robbed them. If you wanted to kill them, you can't rob them. It's one or the other. So the robber takes what they want, jumps on their horse, the person still got their hands up, and rides off. Now, if there's nobody else around, now the person that got robbed has to either go report it as a crime, give them a description, see if that person could be apprehended. The whole time the robber's going on. That whole scenario has now ended for that robber. But if robber walks in, here's scenario B. Robber walks into gas station. There's the person behind the counter. He literally walks up, sticks a gun in the person's face, says, give me your money. No, you can't do that. Because you forced that robbery. So you can't force this scenario. But now if I'm standing here on horse, person rides up, says, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just taking a rest. They're like, a rest from what? I've been out collecting herbs all day. Robert pulls out gun, sticks it in my face, goes, I'd really like to see those herbs. I set myself up to be robbed. But now if I see person riding up and I pull gun out, now I have a readied weapon. So if they pulled their gun out, I can, they'll be like, hey, whoa, 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 why you got the weapon out? It's like, very dangerous out here. I can't trust anyone. Well, why don't you go ahead and put that weapon up? If I did, I'd be an idiot. Because if I put my weapon up, they're like, I put mine up, and they're like, I'm so glad you did that, and pulled their pistol out. Now they can rob me. But if I leave my weapon out and they pull theirs out, they can't force a robbery because I am also armed. Now, they can try and talk me into putting my weapon up so they can rob me. But you really want to do a bow against this pistol? You think that's a good idea? Stuff like that. You have to RP the scene up. You can't just go around like we do in Fallout and stuff and just be blowing. Oh, hey, look, there is somebody. Blam, blam. There's somebody. Blam, blam. That's called griefing. And these rules have been put in place to keep griefing from happening. If you want to be a griefer, you can, but you still have to RP it out. And trust me, there are very successful outlaw robbers that exist. But they've learned to stay within the rules of, hey, you have to initiate an RP scenario. Basically, you have to set up a scene and then play it out to the end. It can be very short, it can be very quick. But well, remember what I said about there's a law against vigilantes being a vigilante? So those other people can come up and try to talk to the robber to get him distracted. Because and it's actually a good point you brought that up, JP. Got two people. Robber robbing person. Yeah, the robber is robbing a person, right? Remember the whole value. You have to value life, your own and everyone else. Well, you have to value your own life. But there's a robber robbing a person on the side of the road. Third person goes riding by, sees the interaction, turns around and comes back and goes, "Hey, what's going on here?" The robber goes, "It's just a misunderstanding. We're working it out." Okay, well, if the third person go, "Okay," because they choose not to get involved, then go, "Oh, okay," and they ride off. Robbery's still happening. But the third person rides up, and the person being robbed goes, "I'm being robbed at gunpoint here." And the third person goes, "Well, I don't think you need to be doing that, mister," or Mrs., whoever it is. The robber is still looking at the person being robbed. So that interaction is, for lack of a better term, that interaction is locked. But if the robber then physically turns their character and turns to look at the other person, now the gun is no longer being pointed at the person being robbed. That interaction is now unlocked. So a person being robbed can pull out a gun and shoot the robber right there. Clean as everything. Because it's kind of like if you see in movies where, the person holding a gun, they're nervous or whatever, and they look away, and then the person that the gun's being held on, takes the gun away or whatever, same scenario. Because that bullet's no longer pointed at you, you now have the option to pull your gun out and kill them. But now, same scenario. Third person rides up. "What's going on here?" Robber goes, "None of your business." Third person goes, "You're pointing a gun at somebody. Why don't you put that gun down? Let's talk this out." They don't know if it's a fight. They don't know if it's a robbery. They don't know what's going on because they just rode up on it. So the robber turns their gun on, or starts to turn their gun on the other person. But if that other person was smart and had their gun out when they rode up, they now can immediately kill that robber because there is danger coming towards them. So you have to look at it from real world. Most people, like, especially for me, I had trouble with the whole RP aspect that you have to play the scenario out as if it was a real world scenario, not what we do normally in our video games. Because everybody's like, "Oh, well, I've got quick draw. If a person's got a gun on me, I can use quick draw to go." Could you do that in real life? I mean, if I have a gun in your face, are you going to be able to quick draw your firearm and shoot me before I notice you flinched and I pull the trigger. I'd say 99 out of 100 times the answer is going to be no. Because the moment you flinch, I'm pulling the trigger. And you gotta remember, RP is all about imagination. It's about having fun and just creating a scenario. And then just playing along with it. But also because some people have trouble with imagination and just having fun with the game. Playing the game but adding a little movie takes into it, I guess you would say. That's why some of those rules are in play. Oh, very good question, especially about Valentine. If bullets are flying around in Valentine, can anyone start shooting? Well, ask yourself this question, JP. If you was walking around Walmart and you hear bullets start flying around, would you pull your gun out and just start aimlessly shooting? Or would you try to find cover, try to assess the situation, and figure out what's going on first? All right, Molly, you have a good one, hon. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, definitely, exactly like T-Man said. It's all about what would you do in the real world, in IRL. That's what you would do here. And the DRB, of course, is not for everybody. So, like T-Man said, it's about being immersed in the world and just having some fun. And like I said, you don't have to create a whole backstory or a character profile or all that. You can play yourself as if you lived in 1899, and how would you go about living that particular life? And see, for me, I love the Gilded Era. It is one of the best time periods for me. Yeah, definitely, like and Ainurauco is a perfect example. Ainurauco's personality story is me, and it's pretty much her life because of from doing the mystery videos. Well, see, JP, that's not the way you would do it in real life, though, would you? Let's see. Getting drunk and shooting at the town definitely going to get you arrested for public disturbance. And if you're just randomly shooting other players without any particular interaction, now, yeah, that was with no interaction. Now, if you was in the bar and got drunk, if you was in the bar, got drunk, and told everybody, and just started spouting off at the mouth, hey, I'm fixing to start shooting everybody in this godforsaken town. And you pull your guns out, but you haven't fired yet. As long as you, up until the point of not shooting, you haven't done anything wrong. You are brandishing weapons inside town, but you haven't shot anybody. But now, you turn around to go, says, you know, you're still talking about being drunk and everything. It's like, if y'all don't clear out of this bar, I'm fixing to shoot every one of you. And you make sure you shout that so that everybody hears you say it. Well, now you've started some kind of interaction, and they're going to try and talk you out of it. Now the engagement has started. So that would be a little bit different. But if you just went, and I'm not entirely sure you'd get away with that either. Yes, JP. Okay, JP. You're in Walmart, a bullet flies past your head. What's the very first thing you do? Yeah, well, if a bullet comes close to your head, my first thought would be duck. Not pull out my gun. I'm gonna duck. I'm also going to, then at that point, I might pull my gun out. But I'm still not gonna shoot because knowing my luck, and this actually comes from experience. Knowing my luck, the person that shot wasn't the criminal. It was the law officer trying to stop the criminal, and I just shot the law officer. Now, I have not actually ever shot a law officer, but I've seen that interaction. So sometimes going around pulling the trigger is not the thing to do. First assess the situation, then decide whether you want to be involved in it or not. And if you don't, then you get out of town. See, one of the hardest things that, and I still have trouble with this, is yes, we've all played Red Dead, where we had to deal with griefers and such, and you know the aspect of online gaming of it's a game. It's just a game. It's a freaking game. But then you've got real life, which is real. It's real. It's real. So a game. It's real. It's real. We've all had that aspect. What New Dakota does, and it's hard to wrap my head around it at times, and I'm still new, and I'm still learning, is that New Dakota, although it is a game based on Red Dead, highly modded, highly worked on by an exceptional staff of people, is that when you play, and this New Dakota is not for everybody. I mean, is that it is not just a game. It's a game that mimics the aspects of real life. And the whole thing with New Dakota is to immerse yourself in it, to see your particular character as you. Remember, it is role playing, okay? Role playing is imagination at its finest. But at the moment you're logged in as the character and their interactions, treat it as if it was you in 1899 playing that or being that particular character. That doesn't mean, it's like you got to get all serious here about everything. It's like, oh my God, I can't walk that way because there's a light. I have to go. No, screw that. If I want to go that way, I'm going that way. If I meet somebody on the road and they say howdy, I can ignore them. I don't have to be sociable. I don't have to talk to them. But when it comes to the rules of violence, there are rules of how that has to go down in order to keep people from being griefers. See that person right there, and that person in online mode, in regular online mode, Ainurauco would have probably shot both of them. Never thought nothing about it. They're NPCs. What do I care, right? I mean, this is not an actual person. Wait a minute. In online mode, none of these are actual people. We can kill everybody. Mayhem and destruction everywhere. In New Dakota, though, treat it as if it was 1899 and you was that character. And try to have if you want to be a gunslinging mass murder outlaw, absolutely fine. Just stay within the rules. And that way, because if you don't, the reason those rules are in place is to keep one person or two people or 20 people from just coming in and slaughtering every player. Because every time you die, there's a 4-minute cooldown before you can stand up, and technically your character doesn't remember anything that happened. Or you call for a doctor, and they can come and revive you. You keep all your memories, and you start back with full health. To keep one person from just going in and just dynamiting the whole town of Valentine and ruin everybody's day, there's rules. So that keeps the griefers from just coming in and robbing everybody and killing everybody. So what ends up happening when if you had that happening is you'd have, let's say five griefers come in and ruin hours of game time for 150 people, or 100 or 200. So 5 people get to have fun, the other ones don't. I'm sorry, I've got to side with the majority on that one and get rid of the 5 people. Because just like, think about this whole stream where I've just been wandering around, picking herbs, chatting, having a great time. I have had so much fun in this stream. Just walking around picking herbs. Because I don't have to think about, oh, is that person riding up fixing to shoot me with a rifle? Is that person fixing to, is that person sniping me with explosive bullets? Is somebody going to be dynamite arrowing my horse and killing it? So what they've done is try to create a more friendly RP. Oh, I am a terrible roleplay person. Like I said, I'm old pen and paper style, and I know if I can learn just the basics of RP, and I do mean the basics. I don't even know how to make my name stuff I do show up in red that some of them do. I mean, I still have trouble with that, but there's no hurt there. Well, no, it's not that. Like the black collar, they pretty much run Van Horn, but now they didn't do that overnight. That took a lot of work and effort. Now when I say they run Van Horn, like I could ride through Van Horn and probably wouldn't see any of them. They probably wouldn't bother me because I'm not doing anything I shouldn't. Oh, beautiful deer. Oh, somebody rode up on their horse. But yeah, they pretty much control the I'm guessing like the illicit sales of stuff in that particular town. But now, even if you're like even if you was a small gang, and you were running moonshine stills, which you can do. You can run illegal moonshine stills. You can also do illegal wet bud trade, raising cocaine. If you want to do the illegal stuff and you want to sell it, I mean, a lot of times from my interactions is they'll say, "Hey, you want to sell that in this town? Okay, let's work out some kind of an agreement or alliance or something, and work with you." Most interactions will be try to be civil before they try to be violent. But now I have seen some interactions go, where two gangs were on each other's territory, so to speak, and it's like they had a sit down, or actually they had a standoff. They're like, "Hey, let's see if we can work this out," and the other one's like, "I'm not working out anything with you," blah blah blah. I'm not. They were just standing tall, being straight up. Hey, it's gonna be us or you, and there was a gunfight that broke out, and I mean, it was a really good gunfight too. It wasn't that standing toe to toe in the middle of the street. They were using cover. They were using long arms, and they fought it out. And the gang that was left standing was the one that was right. And there's absolutely nothing wrong. I love a good gunfight, especially if I'm a spectator. I love watching the interaction. But there has to be a reason for that particular gunfight. It can't just be like that person right there on the wagon. I can't just ride up and bam, 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 they're dead. Nope, can't do that. But now, if that's not a player, that's an NPC. But if I said, "Hey, mister, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, you're not going to talk to me? That's kind of rude. If you don't talk to me, I'm going to have to do other measures." And, okay, bam. Well, I interacted. But that was an NPC. Now, if that was a player and they didn't respond, I couldn't just kill them. I have to get a response. So now if I say, "Hey, mister," and they respond, "What the H do you want?" They responded. So now I can choose to make it a quick interaction, or I can draw it out, be a nuisance, and be like, "Hey, could you stop your wagon?" "I'm not stopping my wagon. I really need you to stop that wagon." "I'm not either you stop the wagon or I will. Do what you gotta do." Okay, that was them giving the okay. And one of the best outlaw robberies I ever seen was very short, very sweet, and they were literally I was riding down the road, and like this, they just rode up beside me, like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to stop." "Well, what if I don't stop?" "Well, then I'm gonna have to shoot you." They already had their gun out, so the moment they said, if you don't stop, I'm gonna have to shoot you." If I had pulled my gun out, they could have shot me right then. I only had one option: stop. But in reality, they gave me two options. I could keep riding and get shot, or I could stop. When I stopped, of course, as soon as they said, "Well, you can either stop or I'll shoot you," they had done drawed on me. So they got the drop on me. So I stopped. They robbed me. They went on about their business. It was a 2.5 minute, maybe 2 minute RP. Hey, excuse me, I'm gonna need you to do something. Oh yeah, what's that? You point your gun at them right then. I need you to stop and put your hands up. I put my hands up. They rob, take half of my money, whatever they want. They write off. Nothing I can do about it. Quick robbery. But yeah, there has to be some kind of engagement. And if RP engagement is not something you want to do, the New Dakota definitely would not be a good fit. But if it's something you want to try or something you want to learn, or hey, maybe you just want to try it and then you don't like it and you leave the county. I mean, everyone has the option of what they want to do. I myself thought I would hate it and thought I would be terrible at it. Well, if you're wanting to start a gang, then yeah. But if you're just wanting to be a solo robber or solo farmer or solo miner, no. Hey, Alex, New Dakota, it is not hard at all. Yeah, I remember when Bubbles told the black collar that. Well, Tommy Cat, if you think about it, I mean, I've been playing this little girl, right? She's technically a solo player. Still new. She's only 3 days old, and I've already made just from doing everything her way. I've already made let's see. It was 100. So I've made about $600, and I'm not even trying. If you notice, I've just been riding around picking herbs and shooting deer, and I had that one job. Now, if she was an outlaw character, I was going to play her on the dark side of things, like a vengeful, whatever. I could have been robbing people this whole time. Remember that one camp that we rode into? See, where was their camp? It was back over this way, wasn't it? The one that had the tobacco. I know it was back over. Right. Oh, that's not. Is that it? Yeah, that's it right there. This interaction that I had with this gentleman would have been perfect. Absolutely perfect for a robbery. Perfect scenario. There's nobody else around. Right? I've got the little sweet and innocent little Indian girl. Right? He was sitting in front of that tent, wasn't he? So I could walk and said, no, excuse me. Is this your camp? Well, yes it is. Notice he didn't have a gun out or anything. He was just standing there. Like, I pick herb in camp. Is it okay? And he said, yeah, it's absolutely fine. So I'll go over here and I pick the little herb. Make sure I get my herb first. Alright? And then I walked back up to him. Notice he still didn't have a gun out. So at this point, he's trusting me because the little Indian girl in white picked herb, right? And as I walked back up to him, I was like, herb in camp, thank you. He's like, oh, you're very welcome. Me ask question? Well, of course, he has no gun out. He's not. Now, I'm drawing the RP out, of course. But he still doesn't have a gun out, and he still hasn't moved from that spot. He hasn't shifted or anything. So I said, me ask question. He'd been like, sure. No, of course, you'd have guns and stuff like that. Like, me ask question? He goes, yeah, what else can I help you with? You put them hands up? I got the drop on him. Cut him, put his hands up. He puts his hands up. I could have robbed him right here. Nobody around, nobody had ever known it. Person's chasing deer. Oh, it needs a too far shot. But I would have had the drop on him. I could have robbed him after I got his kindness and picked his herb. Then I flipped it on him. I'd have had him at gunpoint. I could have robbed him, took his stuff, and there's nothing he could have done about it. There's still actually a lot of territory that's not being covered. That's not, part of gang territories and stuff like that. And for the most part, if you notice, gangs don't really bother you unless you bother them. Yeah, there's only one server. Yeah, but see, that's the one server thing is one thing I love about it is because it, like I said, the New Dakota is meant to mimic 1899 life. And unless I'm wrong, we all live on the same planet. We all exist in real life on the same quote unquote server. So I like that aspect of it. But now, if you're not going to be playing the outlaw life, which I get it, I love the outlaw life. But if you're gonna live the other side of it as one of the like a farmer or a miner or a rancher or somebody that's actually providing that aspect of it, so you've got the outlaw, then you've got the good side. And instead of picking those raspberries, I get on my horse. Yeah, I've come to realize, especially when playing in the DRB, I'm just an actress. I'm just an actress playing a role. And now, of course, the good part is you get to choose that role that you want to be in this particular movie. Oh, well, you're forgetting. Of course, we may not have mentioned this. This is what most people are used to playing in RDO and story mode, right? New Hanover, Lemoyne, Aberino, got Tall Trees area in West Elizabeth, you've got New Austin, and you've got all of Mexico. Yes, all of this is accessible down here. All of Mexico is. Nuevo Paraiso. And Canada. Canada's opened up. So you can get over into there. So the world is very good. Now, one thing to remember, if you're going to play an outlaw and you're up in this area, the law will come after you. Yeah, and Guarma. Yeah, and Guarma's open too. But you've got all this. All of this is law territory. There's law everywhere, right? No law. There is no law down here. Now you still have to RP within the rules. But if you kill somebody and you RP'd, of course within the rules, or you rob people down here, there's nobody to report it to. So here you have to worry about, like, here, let's say you rob somebody, you're down here at Fort Mercer. Somebody's riding by the road, you stop them. It's like, hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah, is this loaded? And you get the drop on them. Or it's like, hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Can you put your hands up? And you rub them. They can go to Tumbleweed, they can go to Armadillo and report it. You do that same thing down here, there is nobody to report it to. So if you're on the illegal side of stuff, this is a great place to do it. Yes, you can actually own properties. Abiding that somebody has that doesn't own it already. See the saloon. That's Smokey's Tobacco. There's the law office. Clothing store. I think somebody actually owns the saloon already. But yeah, you can own property. And if, let's say you, somebody owns a property that you want to own, right? They already own it. You're like, dang it, I wanted that one. Well, all you got to do is talk to that person and see if they want to sell that property. And you might be able to buy it from them. Yeah, yeah. But see, that's Comcat, to be honest, coming from like, especially Fallout 76, where, if I had my camp down, the one that I had beside the train station, and I log in, and somebody else has got that spot, so my camp can't spawn in, I just jump servers. I'd go to a different server to where that spot was open so that my camp would spawn in. And so, I mean, the whole multiple lobbies, multiple spawn points, I kind of I myself got spoiled with it. If I didn't like the fact that my camp wouldn't spawn, I just jump servers and bam, there's my camp. But that's when you play a game that has multiple lobbies and multiple servers. The DRB is one server, one lobby, and everybody exists in that one same world, and has to figure out how to navigate that. And for me, first coming over here was a little me. Yeah, yeah. If you want to play, yeah, that's one of the understandings you have. It's all one big world. There's not multiple lobbies. There's just the one world option. And now that I've gotten used to it and played it, I love it. Oh, I keep forgetting you don't drink berry juice automatically. Now, of course, the only one of my characters that I've streamed is 15 Spirit here. Roslyn and Ainurauco are very hard for me to stream. And see, no, Comcat, I actually get that very, very, very much. That's one reason why I have 3 different characters. But also for the storyline aspect of it for my videos and stuff. Today I'm working on a mystery web series. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. I wonder if you could get paid more for herbs. from distant locations compared to local locations? Well, see, that's actually a valid question, JP. And that's depending on who you're selling to. So if, let's say, because it's all player-run economy, so there are deliveries that you can do to earn money and XP. Like in Blackwater, you can make a delivery, a scripted, borrowed wagon delivery to McFarlane's ranch, where you're taking some hay to Mrs. McFarlane, and then you can turn around and pick up a job at her ranch to deliver some cotton and wool to Blackwater Stable. And those are set amounts and set XP. Can't be changed. But now, if player, okay, we'll use Shifting Spirit here. She is approached by Johnny B, right? Johnny B. I'm getting tickled here. Okay, so she gets approached. Okay, now I'm getting myself tickled because I've gotten it. I caught my attention. She gets approached by Johnny B, right? And Johnny B wants some ginseng. Yeah, some ginseng. But Johnny B can't go get the ginseng because it's too far away. And he tells little Shifty here, hey, I'll pay you X amount of dollars to bring me a stack of ginseng. And we agree to that. And I go get the ginseng and I bring it back, right? And I deliver it and he pays me the exact amount he said. Well, Johnny B tells Clara A that I know how to get ginseng. And I'm quick and I'm fast and I'm dependable. So Clara A approaches me and said, hey, I'll give you this much money to go get me a stack of ginseng. But since Johnny didn't tell Clara what he paid me, Clara offers to pay me more for the ginseng. And so I don't say a word about Johnny. So I go and get the stack of ginseng for Clara, and she pays me more, right? But then Clara tells Sue that I am the best ginseng gatherer, fast, dependable, reliable, bam, bam. And she goes, but I offered her this much. But Sue lives in a completely different town that's a lot farther away. So Shifting Spirit has now learned that people will pay more for the ginseng than Johnny will. So she tells Sue, hey, I'll go get that ginseng for you, but it'll be this price plus travel expenses. And Sue goes, that seems fair. So now I have successfully started building my market up of what I will sell ginseng for. Well, Sue, I didn't know this, but Sue ran the local market in town. And she goes, hey, how about we work out a flat rate? And I'll buy every stack of ginseng you can bring me, no matter time, day, nothing. So we work out a flat rate deal. So now I'm shipping her ginseng like crazy. And I've just started a business up. All because Johnny wanted something for this price. And I used the fact that I had to travel to get a little extra out of Sue. I've now made more money. So you can always, in the world of New Dakota, it's all player run. And it's all about the interaction. And if you play it right and use your character, just use normal real skills like, hey, price and, demand, you can get more money depending on distance, location, but that's completely up to you and the other player you're interacting with. So there's nothing set in stone as far as the pricing. Ooh! One of the players is riding the train. Actually, that is a player that is a train engineer. And they're driving the train. You can buy tickets. I'm gonna let them. He tooted. See. So one of the jobs you can have is train engineer. Now, just because you have a job of training engineer doesn't mean you have to do that 24/7. You can be a train engineer while you're and be on duty. And then when you go off duty, you're just playing your character however you want to play them. But now, remember, there is consequences. So if you're a train engineer and you're also an outlaw and you get caught, you could lose your engineer license. Because you can't have an outlaw running a train, and an outlaw wouldn't run a train anyway. That was really good footage. There we go. Turn it back on. I like to turn the HUD off when I'm trying to capture certain things of it, just so I don't have to edit that out later. And see, this character, the way I play her, is fascinated by trains because she calls them the Iron Horse. Now, one thing to remember, when I'm streaming this little girl, I'm just out having fun, being casual. I'm not trying to get involved in anything big or not trying to run any bounties or treasure hunt or anything. She's just gathering herbs and gathering meat. So she's casual. Now, if you ever want to see some interesting stuff, definitely check out T-Mad TV. There's also Don Juan for show. Hayden _MJ, Luke Baxter. They all stream the more violent content or more interaction, you know, with actual bank robberies, you know, bounties, things like that. I have trouble trying to stream that in New Dakota as opposed to like when I used to try to do the solo call to arms in RDO. I can do those. That also has aim assist, which helps with my hands a lot, so it's a lot easier. And as always, I am here to answer any questions. Oh, here. Alright, I got a bleed shot on it. I still just know, I also know that whenever I start to do, if I ever do her an intro video, which I want to do that for all the characters, just kind of a, just for fun. Hers is going to have that bison in it. Dang it. Scared them all off. Oh well. Thing else out here. Nope. Oh yeah, I forgot my horse over there. Yeah, eventually this little girl will have her own place. Like I said, I want to find a small, itty bitty small cave. I know some big caves, but I don't want her to have that. I want her to have a little small space, kind of tucked up out of the way, so nobody's find her. So I'll have to go. I have to go looking. Hey, runs with wind. But for the moment, she stays way over here. Yeah, and the whole reason I want to get her a little camp cave or something, is so I can put her a storage box in it. And get that set up so that she can store all of her herbs and meat and everything that she's picking. I want to get the native bed, the native chair, so she can make those. We can make those at the campfire. Get all of that set up for her and get her a little bitty spot. But for the moment, yeah. The moment she stays right over here. This little grove of trees right here is her little home. No, this is one by the road. This. Oh, here it is. She stays right in here. That way she can hide, runs with wind can hide in the tree branches, and she can hide in the bushes. Plus she has a good view of the roads coming. Like I said, I don't know how to make the horse lay down without using a gun, so. Oh well. I'll figure that out eventually. The little yellow circles on the ground, that's the herbs. That's her herbalist site that allows me to see it. Oh, gotta make an intro for Robotnik. I wonder if I can get a good one. Well, that was actually pretty. She looked right over at the horse. Stand a distance away with weapon. Yeah, no option. I think it's because I don't have a gun. I only have the bow. Oh, no, it's not. That's why. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, she's not that big yet. Oh no, it's not trained or not, so it's got to be trained in order to lay down. So that would explain. But there we go. That is a little shifting stick for her glory. That's oh, that was perfect. Oh, okay, got it. I actually like that picture. Alright, but I hope everybody's enjoyed the stream today. It is definitely munchy time for foodie foods. So we are going to call it there for the day. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream and the little trip around with Shifting Sands. And definitely thank you all for the great discussion. Definitely love the discussion. Anytime you ever have any questions or chit chat or anything, definitely do not hesitate to ask. I may not know the answer to anything, or all of it, or any of it, but if I can find the answer, then we both have learned something, and that's a win in my book. So everybody have fun. I will be back on Dakota River Bend here in about an hour. I probably won't be streaming though, but I will be on. Aw, thank you. It's definitely got to work some more on the story between Ainurauco, Rosalind, and the world of New Dakota. And the secrets that those two hide is very big news. But definitely don't forget to check out T-Mad on Twitch. You may or may not see Rosalind or Ainurauco or both of them sometimes in the background, but if so, they're just going to be there because T-Mad is awesome and is a great streamer and artist. So definitely check him out. Don't forget to check out like Hayden_MJ or some of the other streamers for the New Dakota. Watching them stream may help answer a lot of questions or make up all new questions. You never know. But don't forget to check out my channel here on YouTube. It is White Hair Investigation. Of course, white hair. All my two main characters both have white hair, Hair, but Enrico started a business called White Hair, Haer, which is actually a pun off of Alice in Wonderland. Follow the white rabbit down a rabbit hole. Going down rabbit holes is a common term used for mystery hunting, so it all ties together. I have about 35 episodes on the channel of investigating various mysteries around Red Dead from a theological standpoint, real world theological standpoint. All of those are based on could this item actually have belonged to person A because it was created 30 years after the game. Just finished up a 9-part series on the Strange Man, his cabin, everything located in it, and the theory of who the Strange Man might be. I investigated every one of those using that same theological standpoint. Don't forget to check those out. Leave a like on the channel if you enjoyed the stream. Don't forget, and as always, be careful chasing rabbits down rabbit holes. They have really small rabbit holes. We have really big heads. You'll get stuck. Don't forget that. And as always, bye-bye.